Hey there guys, and welcome to Sunday's live stream. I'm JWF1 and we are here for the 250 lap race here at the ISM Raceway here at Avondale, Arizona, or Phoenix, Arizona, whichever one you want to call. And we are getting set for 250 laps here for round 3 of the Season 4-5 IFMC IndyCar Series, the first oval race of the season. If you didn't see what happened in qualifying yesterday, it was quite a very interesting one. In the end, Takuma Sato, who hadn't scored a point up until yesterday, thanks to what he did, of course, he took pole position yesterday. It was an incredible lap from him, and he takes what I think is his third career pole. He's actually got the most poles of anybody in IFMC IndyCar. And he's got Tony Kanaan alongside him in the SIC. A very good qualifying from both SICs to be in 2nd and 5th for the race. And they've got Simon Pagenaud rounding up the top 3 in the end. It should hopefully be a good Phoenix race. The first ever time we have been to the ISM Raceway. And we're getting set for 250 laps, as we've just mentioned a little bit earlier. So, before we start then, guys, let's mute this, turn this up a little, and let's have a look at the grid for today's race here at ISM Raceway. When it's ready. Here we go then. So, on pole position, it is Takuma Sato with Tony Kanaan in 2nd. Simon Pagenaud lines up in 3rd with Ed Jones in 4th. Max Chilton lines up in 5th with James Hinchcliffe in 6th position. 7th on the grid goes to JR Hildebrand, followed by Graham Rahal in 8th. 9th on the grid is Felix Rosenquist, followed by Ryan Hunter-Reay in the e-power car in 10th. 11th is Marco Andretti, followed by teammate Robert Wickens, the 2 adrenaline cars locking out row 6. Scott Dixon a disappointing 13th, that's Alexander Rossi in 14th position. Will Power disappointed with 15th, Juan Pablo Montoya starts 16th in the Red Rose racing car. Gary Chavez with a lot to do from 17th. Joseph Newgarden disappointed in 18th. Then we get to the qualifying banners. Sebastian Bourdais 19th. Helio Castroneves in 20th. The 2 EMRs block out row 10. And on the back row of the grid is Pietro Fittipaldi and Fernando Alonso. And that is the grid for today's race here at ISM Raceway. So there is the grid then, guys, for today's race here at ISM Raceway. And the weather, of course, it is bright and sunny, so leave your predictions. But without further ado, let's get to the 250 lap race here at Phoenix. So, once it appears, here we are then on the grid then. As you can see, it's Sato on the right. It's Kanaan on the left. Who's going to get the lead into the first bank? As we wait for the 5 red lights to go off to signify the start of the race here at ISM Raceway. 1 light is on, 2 lights are on, 3 lights are on, 4 lights are on now, and it's 5 lights, and it is lights out, and away we go here at ISM Raceway. And it seems to be a good start from Sato, who covers off Kanaan, but it's not good enough. Kanaan able to find a gap on the outside as they go into the first bank, and it's Kanaan who leads into the first bend. A good start for Tony Kanaan, but Pagenaud is underneath the pair of them now then. Pagenaud, has he got the lead of the race? Yes, he has, or has he? Kanaan still sticking with him, but it's Pagenaud who takes the lead here at ISM Raceway. Pagenaud leads the pack as they go into the bend now then. Round this left-hander we go. Everybody just jockeying for position. A good start from Chilton up into 4th place goes the Brit now then. Round the back we go. Another good start from Hunter-Reay. He's dropped outside the top 10. Newgarden's down to the back of the pack. Not a good start from him, but at the end of the first lap Pagenaud leads. Kanaan having to fend off from Sato, who's looking to the inside into the left-hander. Will Sato pull it off? Bourdais sets an early fastest lap, and it's Sato who grabs 2nd from Tony Kanaan into the first bend there then. Hildebrand trying to get hold of Chilton as well. Rosenquist and Jones side by side with each other into this left-hander. Nearly contact between them. Rosenquist having to give the space, but Jones decided to back out of that one. Quite a weird one. It's now put in play to Graham Rahal now. Then Rahal trying to have a look into this little bend, but isn't quite able to work it out. He's found a gap down the inside. Hinchcliffe fighting it out with Andretti. Round the back we go now then, as Pagenaud pulls a gap. Sato in 2nd place now then. The 2 SICs look to duke it out for 3rd place with Hildebrand on the back, and then Pagenaud sets another fastest lap of 31.886 as he tries to get away from the rest of the pack at the moment, which he's doing doing a good job. Going wide there goes Max Chilton. He's got suspension failure and already a problem in this race. Everybody trying to swerve around him as he has suspension failure. Max Chilton in the early laps of the race after a good qualifying session to qualify in 5th is out of the race, and we're down to 21 runners here at ISM Raceway as Alonso is now at the rear of the field. Looks like Newgarden's now starting to get his foot down a bit down at the back of the pack, but Chilton's race is over as Pagenaud makes his way around the final bend, I believe it is. Yes, it is. As the yellow flags are there, that's because of Chilton's car that's been cleared. In fact, they're coming around turn 2. In fact, I do apologise for that. I think they're just going a little bit slow around there as they're attempting to clear Chilton's car, and for some reason the marshal's thinking it's wise to get his car hoisted over the track, but Chilton out and we're down to 21 runners. It slowed a bit of the pack down. Meantime, Kanaan, who is Chilton's teammate, back on the prowl of Takuma Sato, who's now looking to the inside into this left-hander. Now then, is Kanaan going to get the move done into this left-hander, and Kanaan takes the place up into second place again. Goes the Brazilian of Tony Kanaan, and that's that for him as Rosenqvist trying to hunt down Hildebrand if he can. Meantime, these four jockeying it out for positions while Andretti's starting to lose time, but Rahal and Hinchcliffe, the two Martinis, fighting it out for 7th place as they go into the next bank. Rahal on the back of Jones as he now looks to the inside into his left-hander. Will Rahal get the move done? Yes, he can. Rahal up into 6th place now then. Will his teammate follow through? He's going to tuck behind Jones if he can as Jones tucks into Graham Rahal. Slipstream looking to try and get the place back. Rosenqvist still stuck behind Hildebrand at this stage. Starting to try to look away back past on Kanaan, but Kanaan shuts the door and holds on to 2nd place for the moment as Jones has a look at Rahal, but it isn't quite working out. Hinchcliffe fending off there for Marco Andretti as now around this left-hander we go. There's too much carnage to talk about at the moment for us to check what the fuel loads are like. Meantime, Sato's on the inside of Kanaan, but again, Kanaan shutting the door on him into that left-hander as Jones is fending off from Hinchcliffe and Andretti. Rahal starting to get away as he tries to reel in on this battle for 4th. Speaking of which, Rosenqvist looking to the inside of Hildebrand. Would he grab 4th from Hildebrand? Now they're down the inside. Sato looks to the inside, but again, Kanaan able to hold him off as Rosenqvist gets up into 4th place. And P4 goes to the Swede of Felix Rosenqvist now then as he tries to get himself onto the podium if he can, as now round the back we go. Rossi having a fight with Power for 13th place as they've also got the likes of Wickens and Newgarden coming up on him as well. Newgarden up to 16th after being at the back for a little bit. Alonso losing time to Chavez, it seems, so struggling to get to grips around here at the ISM Raceway, and well, that's that for him really. Now there's Pagenaud round this left-hander. He goes on the track as Hildebrand and Rosenqvist continue to scrap it out at this stage. Around this left-hander we go. And so that's that really. Alonso trying to chase back down on Chavez if he can. As here's Pagenaud now then continuing to lead the pack now then. And so now just coming off the turn now then, as you can see, Pagenaud just going down this straight now then before approaching the left-hander on the track. The first bend is Sato and Kanaan still fight it out for 2nd place. Sato still struggling to find a way through, and Kanaan probably just getting bored of having to fend off from Sato out this stage as Rahal gets down the inside of Hildebrand and gets up into 5th place. So Rahal making progress at the moment as Jones has lost the place to Hinchcliffe. Hinchcliffe up to 7th. Andretti had a go at Jones there, but Jones shuts the door. Hunter Ray now getting close to that scrap for 8th place now then. Back to this battle for 2nd. Sato still stuck behind Tony Kanaan's SIC as now they make their way down this straight now then. Rosenqvist starting to close up on these guys as well. As meantime, Hinchcliffe looks to the inside of Hildebrand for 6th place. Has he got the move done? And yes, he has. Up into 6th place goes James Hinchcliffe. The Martinis making progress in this race, picking up places one by one and looking very strong at the moment of both Rahal and Hinchcliffe at this stage. Hunter Ray on the back of Andretti now then for 9th place as they make their way around the left-hander. Let's try and check the fuel loads if we can as Pagenaud continues to build a lead out in front. He's got a 3.5 second lead in front of Tony Kanaan as we start lap 11 of 250 here at Phoenix. So we've got 25.3, 35.3, 32.4, 42.3, 30.3, 37.3, 37.3, 40.3, 35.4, 37.2, 35.3 as Hunter Ray gets by on Andretti for 9th place. 25.2, 37.2, 32.2, 25.3, 32.2, 30.2, 42.2, 32.2, 32.2, 40.1, 37.1 and 32.2. So that's that for them really now then. As he mentioned earlier, Hunter Ray has got up into 9th place now then, but now Andretti has got Fittipaldi all over the backside of him. He had a qualifying ban and has made up some great progress. He's already up to where the top 10 are, as now Fittipaldi tries to look to the inside of Andretti for 10th place now then, as they make their way around this first little bank now then. Andretti shutting the door on him now then to fend off the place at this stage, as Nugon's up to 15th. He's also gaining progress as Alonso gets close to the back of Chavez now then. Chavez pretty much holding up Alonso now then, which is preventing Alonso from making any progress in this race now then. As now we go down this straight in towards the left-hander. Of course, the laps go very quickly around this oval. It is an oval, of course, so I wouldn't be surprised if all these 250 laps go very quickly. Sato again, looking to the inside of Kanai. Can he get the move done this time by? And this time, yes, he does. Sato retakes second from Tony Kanaan to up to P2 again. Goes the Japanese driver, Takuma Sato. And now, can he try and chase down Simon Pagenaud for the lead again? As now, as Rosenqvist has dropped a place unseen by the cameras, Rahal has gone 4th from Felix Rosenqvist, and now his teammate is trying to follow suit as well. Hinchcliffe down the inside of Rosenqvist, but Rosenqvist fending him off around this bank now then. Hinchcliffe still trying to find a way through on Felix Rosenqvist if he can. Down the straight we go now then, heading in towards this next left-hander. In the slipstream we go. Can Hinchcliffe find a way through on Rosenqvist into the first banking now then, as Fittipaldi sets the fastest lap of 31.380. Down the inside goes Hinchcliffe, and that's P6 for the mayor of Hinchtown. Up into 6th place goes the Canadian of James Hinchcliffe, as meantime, unseen by the cameras, Fittipaldi's up to 9th. He's got through on Hunter Ray, so up into P9 goes Fittipaldi. He's already got Andretti as well, so he's gained 2 places while we were off on the cameras as well. Meantime, Rossi in the middle of an EMR sandwich, as both EMRs try to make their way up through the field after both suffering a qualifying ban themselves, as it's Cacheneras in front of Rossi. Is now Bordet tries to have a look at him into this left-hander. The defending champion has a look, but Rossi thinks better of it and holds on to 17th place. Alonso now right onto the backside of Gabby Chavez's Macamo car as he tries to make his way up through the field after he also sustained a qualifying ban. Out of the 4 drivers have got qualifying bans, it looks like Fittipaldi's having the better race with him being up in 9th and making scintillating progress as Rahal's up to 3rd. Unseen by the cameras, Graham Rahal has taken 3rd place from Tony Kanaan. So over to P3 goes Graham Rahal in the Martini, as Hinchcliffe has taken 5th from Felix Rosenqvist from earlier on. But Rosenqvist wants to place back. Rosenqvist down the inside of James Hinchcliffe. Will he get the move done into the first bank? Will Rosenqvist retake the places? Meantime in the background, Jones down the inside of Hildebrand for 7th place as Hinchcliffe closes the door. Down the inside goes Jones, and that's P7 for the Emirates driver. Over to 7th place goes Ed Jones, as now Fittipaldi finds himself on the back of JR Hildebrand for 8th place, as the 2 Eldorados scrapping out for 12th. Will Power trying to find a way through on his teammate Scott Dixon, as now they go through that left-hander as Cacheneras has broke away from Rossi a bit, leaving Rossi to fend off from Bordet. Alonso now then all over the back of Gabby Chavez, as now Rahal starts to close in on Takuma Sato for 2nd place, and Rahal with some very good pace in that car. Rosenqvist again looking to the inside of James Hinchcliffe. Is this going to be P5 this time? Right for the Swede, and again Hinchcliffe with enough speed able to fend off the place of the pair of them at the same time are catching up to Tony Kanaan's 4th place. So lots of battling going on as Fittipaldi has got 8th from Hildebrand up to 8th place. Goes Fittipaldi as Hunter Ray fends off from Andretti. The pair of them fighting out for 10th as the 2 Eldorados start to closing on them themselves, as now they go around this left-hander on the track. As meantime Hildebrand still trying to find a way through on Fittipaldi now then. Round this left-hander we go, as it's 0.4 seconds the gap Hildebrand has to Hunter Ray. He's busy fending off from Andretti now then, as down the inside goes Hinchcliffe on Kanaan, and that's P4 for the Canadian. Up into 4th place goes James Hinchcliffe as Rahal has taken 2nd at the same corner. Graham Rahal up into 2nd place. He's got the move done on Takuma Sato, and that's P2 for the Martini. Now can he go and try and chase down race leader Simon Pagenaud if he can? There's a bit of a gap he's got to try and gain on, but he'll give it a good start. But Sato, he's still sticking with him. Sato not giving up on that 2nd place as he goes to the inside of Graham Rahal now then. Rahal trying to fend him off and able to do so. That Honda's still got a bit of an advantage than the Chevrolets down the straight, but it's very clear the Chevrolets are a lot closer than they were last season, as Rosenqvist is now on the backside of Tony Kanaan as Hinchcliffe pulls a bit of a gap. Fittipaldi now trying to get up to the backside of Ed Jones for 7th place in this race, as Hunter Ray's got a train of cars behind him at the moment. Power had to go at Dixon but wasn't able to make the move stick. They've now got Wickens Wickens and Newgarden on the back of this train. Newgarden down the inside of Wickens, so close to contact. Wickens just able to hold on to the place for the moment now then, as meantime Body on the back of Rossi. Meantime, on team by the cameras, Alonso has taken 20th from Chavez, so up to 20th. Excuse me. Haven't been able to catch a break yet, as up into 20th goes three-time champ, IFMC champion Fernando Alonso, as he'll try and chase down Montoya for 19th. Meantime, Bode on the inside of Rossi. Can he get 17th from Rossi? No, Rossi shuts the door and holds on to 17th place as Hunter-Reay gets away from that train a little bit. It's up into 7th, goes Fittipaldi. That's P7 for the Brazilian, but Jones not giving up. Jones back to the inside of the final corner, isn't able to make the move stick, and Fittipaldi holds on to 7th for the time being. As meantime, Sato's starting to lose time to Rahal, and now might have the other Martini to worry about, as Hinchcliffe tries to reel him in. As meantime, Rosenquist starting to lose time to Kanaan and may come under threat from Fittipaldi. He's getting away from Jones. At this stage, Andretti back on the backside of Hunter-Reay. As up into 12th goes Power. He's got the move done on Dixon. So that's P12 for Will Power. As up into 14th goes Joseph Newgarden. So it's 14th place for Joseph Newgarden as he gets the move done there on Robert Wickens. As Cashin Evans now then has a go at Wickens himself into the final bank. And unable to do so as Wickens is busy trying to find a way back through on Newgarden now. Then look at these three fighting it out for 10th place at the moment. It's meantime Fittipaldi on the inside of Rosenquist. Can he get the move done? He's also flying as well, and that's P6 for Pietro. Oh, into 6th place goes Pietro Fittipaldi as Andretti looks at the inside of Hunter-Reay. Hunter-Reay able to hang it around the outside to hold on to 10th place. Power trying to find a way through if he can, trying to take advantage at this stage. Now Dixon on the prowl of Power once again, having a look into this left-hander as Power shuts the door through there. Newgarden now getting close, as is Wickens and Cashin Evans. In fact, the train's getting bigger down at the midfield as Cashin Evans looks to the inside of Wickens for 15th place. Wickens holds on for the moment as Hunter-Reay pulls a gap on Andretti. He's busy fending off of the two Eldorados. And now look at Fittipaldi. He's all over the backside of Kanaan already now then. What about Hinchcliffe on Sato? Well, he's gaining, but he's still not onto the slipstream yet of the Japanese driver. And still with a little bit of work to do before we can get onto them. Fittipaldi on the back now then of Kanaan, and it looks like he wasn't able to get him that time by like Kanaan shut the door on him through that little left-hander as Jones closes up to the back of Rosenquist for 7th place. And in real life, Rosenquist could be taking Jones's space at Chip Ganassi next season in IndyCar, but we'll wait and see on that if that becomes a reality. As now into the left-hander goes Felix Rosenquist as he's got Ed Jones all over him. Pietro still trying to find a way through again. He's looking towards that left-hander again and again. Kanaan shutting the door there on Pietro, but Pietro able to stay in the slipstream that time by, unlike previously, as he struggles to find a way through on his fellow compatriot. At this stage, Kanaan doing a good job fending him off at the moment, but now they come down this straight. Will Fittipaldi get the move this time by? He's going to look to the inside of Tony Kanaan. Will Fittipaldi get the move done as it goes side by side down this straight into the left-hander? Is this Fittipaldi's place? And yes, it is. Up into 5th place goes Pietro Fittipaldi, and that's P5 for the young Brazilian, the grandson of two-time Formula 1 world champion Emerson Fittipaldi, as he now tries to chase down Hinchcliffe yet again, who's busy trying to chase down the man in front of him, which is Takuma Sato at the moment. And it looks like Rahal is gaining a bit onto Simon Pagenaud, as Rahal's now got a 1.6 second cushion between himself and Takuma Sato. What's the gap between him and Pagenaud? On lap 26 of 250, and it's 4.4 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on that gap if we can, as Fittipaldi tries to gain down on this battle for third that could develop in a little bit now then. So that's that really as far as they're concerned. Meantime, looking at this train, Hunter-Reay continuing to get away from Andretti as he tries to close in on Hildebrand for 9th place. As Power looks to the inside of Andretti, isn't able to make the move safe on seen by the cameras. Newgarden is taking 13th from Dixon, so up to 13th he goes as Rossi tries to find a way back through on Cashin Evans, but isn't able to make it work out. As Cashin Evans looks to the inside, he's still stuck behind Wickens at this stage. As meantime, as you can see, this battle for third place still developing at this stage now then. Round the left-hander we go. And we're not quite there yet in terms of pit stops. I think in around about 15 laps time, we should see the first round of stops getting underway here at ISM. So now round that left-hander there then goes James Hinchcliffe as he tries to find a way through on Takuma Sato. Sato went a tad bit defensive, but I don't think Hinchcliffe is close enough. And he's in the slipstream. He's going to have a go anyway. But as predicted, Sato fends him off and holds on to third place for the moment. Fittipaldi starting to close in a little bit more as Jones is on the back of Rosenqvist for 7th place. Hunter Ray now starting to reel in Hildebrand for 9th place at the moment. The two Eldorados still stuck behind Andretti for 11th place as Dixon fends off from Wickens at the moment as Rossi is taken. Castroneves for 16th. Up into 16th place goes Alexander Rossi as the two EMRs fighting out for a lonely 17th place at the moment. Chavez looking very lonely down at the back of the field, and Rahul's in the lead. What's happened to Pagano? Pagano, what has happened to him? And Pagano's in. Oh, that's why he's had a scheduled stop. It is a scheduled stop, so, well, they're leaving a lot of fuel in then, it seems, for their first stop. Looks like the McLaren mechanics are getting ready for a stop as well. So it seems that these guys are looking at a very early stop with a lot of fuel in. That looks like Pietro Fittipaldi is also coming to the pits as well. And it is Fittipaldi, so the pit stop stages are already underway. So unpredicted. Very unpredictable there, but it seems that they're carrying a lot of fuel when they go into the pits. It must be a tyre thing around here, so maybe tyre wear is quite crucial around here, as they've only taken a little bit of fuel in the stops. An 8.9 second stop for Fittipaldi, and I think Pagano has already got out on the track, and yes he is, he's rejoining 17th in front of Alonso at the moment. Fittipaldi rejoins behind teammate Chavez, so he rejoins in 20th and nearly a lap down. But we need to remember, of course, for anybody who's not experienced in ovals as well, just because they might be a lap down after their pit stop, that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be a lap down for the remainder of the race. Because it's oval and because of how short it is, they usually, once these guys make a pit stop, they'll be back on the lead lap. So just a note for you there, of course. But of course, we've seen in the past how OP the undercut and the overcuts can be on oval tracks, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be the same thing here at ISM Raceway. As so far, as a result, it is a Martini 1-2, and they won't be pitting for a while yet, because it is quite split in terms of fuel loads for all of these guys. As Hunter Ray looks to the inside of Hildebrand, is it going to be P7 for the E-Power car this time by? And he's already even ahead before the corner, and that will be a provisional P9 once everybody pits for Ryan Hunter Ray, as Andretti starts to close in himself. Meantime, on seen by the cameras, Newgarden has passed both Eldorados, so Newgarden up 2 places at the moment. Power trying to have a look back at Newgarden, unable to do so as Dixon tries to look to the outside of his own teammate for P11, but isn't able to quite work it out. But he's going to have a look anyway into this left-hander as he tries to find a gap on the inside. Isn't able to pull the move off at the moment as the two EMRs continue to scrap it out at the moment. Bourdais still stuck behind Castroneves at this stage of the race, as Wickens down in 21st. He's well, in fact, has he actually made a pit stop? I don't think he has. I think somewhere on the track, Wickens has made a mistake. So, down to 21st there then goes Robert Wickens. A disaster for him then. He's not been getting any luck at all this season, it must be said. And this bad luck seeming to continue for the popular Canadian, as Ed Jones still stuck behind Felix Rosenqvist at this stage now then. Pagano trying to hunt down Montoya if he can for 16th place. As meantime, look at this group of cars again as Bourdais looks to the inside of Castroneves. Can he pull the move off? This time by into the first bank. I don't think he can, because Castroneves is stuck on Rossi's slipstream at the moment, as they now make their way round this banking now then on the track. And wow, what a race we've had, as promised, from an oval race, as Wickens is trying to unlap himself, it seems, as he's stuck behind this battle for 5th between Rosenqvist and Jones now. Then Jones in the slipstream of Felix Rosenqvist. Can he get the move done on the Swede now? Then he's going to look to the inside as Rahal is into the pits from the temporary lead of the race. We'll get to him in a bit as Jones down the inside of Rosenqvist. Can he get the move done? This time by, and yes he can. Jones up a place into what will be a provisional 5th, I think, once everybody makes their stop. Where's Rahal? There he is. And where's Pagano on the track? That's what we want to know. As Rahal makes his stop, Rossi's into the pits himself, as through goes Alonso. In fact, Pagano's a long way away from Rahal. Rahal staying in the pits for quite a while there then, so might be a very interesting strategy for Rahal. You don't know at the moment, as he now comes out of pit lane. And, well, where's he going to rejoin then? It's P19 for Graham Rahal. That's where he's going to emerge. Sorry, P20 comes out a lap down behind Robert Wickens. So maybe Robert Wickens did make a pit stop. I'm not 100% sure, but that fuel load would suggest that he hasn't. So that's that for me, really, as now he's got to try and gain 13.2 seconds to Chavez. Is into the pits, comes Takuma Sato. So Sato coming into the pits for Fantari Racing, as the mechanics are ready for him to peel into his box. And let's see how quick the stop will be then for Takuma Sato in the Fantai racing car, as a quick wipe of the visor for the Japanese driver now then, as he puts on a fresh set of tyres and fuel, as the adrenaline mechanics are getting ready. I think, no, they're target anti-grain mechanics for Joseph Newgarden. It looks like one of the Eldorados and one of the EMRs are into the pits as well, as another car is in. That's an E-Power car. I think that's Alonso that's coming to the pits. A very long stop, it must be said. In fact, now that I think of it, it says 26.7. I wonder if that is a very heavy fuel load, because of course, because of the figures, you can't really see what the other figure says. It doesn't go up to 100, so I wonder if he's got around about 100 or 200 litres in his tank, so he might be fueled to the end of the race, or he's going for a very long stint. We'll have to wait and see on that, as he rejoins in 15th place, a lap down in front of Ryan Hunter-Ray, who's fighting it out with Marco Andretti at the moment. Andretti about to pull a lap there then on Takuma Sato, as they now make their way around the bank. As now, who's in the pits? It is Fernando Alonso. He's just made a stop, and Fernando Alonso rejoins from his box and rejoins in 21st position. So that's where Alonso rejoins with quite a heavy tank on him now then, as now we look at Ryan Hunter-Ray, who's trying to chase down Felix Rosenqvist for the moment now then, as he just goes around this left-hander. I'm not even sure. I think Rosenqvist is still yet to make a stop, but I don't think he needs to pit for a while yet. Same with Hinchcliffe as well, as he's coming up to try and lap one of the EMR cars. I think that might be Bourdais. In fact, I think Bourdais was the one that came into the pits for EMR. As now they come around the left-hander. Into the pits comes Tony Kanaan for SIC, as it looks like the adrenaline mechanics are getting ready for one of their cars as well. So it's either going to be Wickens or Andretti, and it's Marco Andretti. So Andretti in the hopes of trying to leapfrog Ryan Hunter-Ray in the pits. And now let's see how quick the stop will be then for Tony Kanaan in the SIC, as he puts on a fresh set of tyres and fuel. Obviously fueling quite heavy, it must be said, so it's either a heavy stint or he's actually fueled to the end of the race. I'm not 100% sure, because it doesn't give us the third digit. Unfortunately, the steering wheels don't go up to that, so yeah, we're having to pretty much guess at this stage. We're having to wait to a certain point to find out whether they're fueled to the end of the race or whether it's a heavy second stint of the race, as Kanaan finishes his pit stop. Where is he going to emerge? And he's going to emerge in 13th position, I think, yes, and a lap down, of course, but 13th for Tony Kanaan. And is he behind Pagenaud? Where is Pagenaud on the track? As Hinchcliffe is into the pits for his scheduled stop, and Pagenaud is in front of him, in fact, I think by a few meters, in fact. As into the pits comes James Hinchcliffe from the temporary lead of the race. Where is the Martini driver, the man that won last time out in Daytona, going to rejoin after this stop? And also into the pits comes Ryan Hunter-Ray for E-Power, as he hopes to try and stay in front of Marco Andretti. Also in is a Silicon Valley racing car. That will be JR Hildebrand, because Simon Pagenaud has already made a pit stop. Macamo are getting ready for someone. I would think it might be Chavez. It is Chavez, because I think Fittipaldi has already made a pit stop. As now coming out on track then goes James Hinchcliffe. Where is he going to emerge then after this stop? As Hildebrand, it is Hildebrand who's in the pit. And Hinchcliffe is going to rejoin. Where's Pagenaud, in fact? Pagenaud is, has he got out in front? Let's have a look. And, yeah, Pagenaud way in front, in fact. And Pagenaud with quite a bit of a lead in front at the moment, as he goes around this little banking now then on the track. Well, the banking, I should say. Whether he's on a light fuel load or whether it's a heavy one, I don't know, because his was quite a quick stop, it must be said, as was Fittipaldi. So I think they might be on quite a light fuel load, but we'll wait and see on that, as Pagenaud now then makes his way around that bank now then, as he's got Fittipaldi, who has actually leapfrogged Hinchcliffe in the pits. Also has got up a position, and now he's right on the back of Simon Pagenaud for what would be 4th place for the moment. Hinchcliffe currently 8th after the pit stop, so everything is sort of muddled up at the moment, but that's pretty much that, really. Some of them are on heavy fuel loads, some of them going for a heavy stint, some might be going for a light stint, or maybe could be fueled to the end of the race. We're not sure yet at this stage here at ISM Raceway. Remember, it's the first time we've been to this track, so it's unfamiliar terms for us in terms of what the fuel loads and the strategies are like for these drivers. Into the pits comes Ed Jones for the temporary lead of the race, so the Target Andy Graham driver is into the pits, and currently has had the better of Joseph Newgarden this season, because Newgarden has been struggling to get any luck in the first 2 races. And so far, he's trying to make his way up through the field. He's Joseph Newgarden and doing a decent job at this stage after he had to start way down in 18th after a tricky qualifying session. Heavy fuel going in then for Ed Jones. Also in is one of the Red Rose Racing cars. I'm trying to think which one that is. I think that is Juan Pablo Montoya. So it's Montoya who's into the pits for Red Rose Racing. As now coming out of the pit lane then goes Ed Jones. Where's he going to emerge? And he's going to come out in 7th place, in fact. Just a lap down, and he's rejoined in front of Tony Kanaan. So he's gained a place off Tony Kanaan in the pits. So, and as has, I think, well, not quite yet, as Montoya rejoins the road. Montoya rejoins in 12th, behind a little group, in fact, as Sato has dropped down a few places. In fact, he's lost a place to Kanaan in the pits. So Sato down to 11th place as Dixon tries to find a way through on Juan Pablo Montoya, who's into the pits now. Then it's Felix Rosenqvist from the temporary lead of the race, and I think that is a heavy fuel load. That's 25.7 because he was on 26 before he came in. So about 125 or 225 litres going in for Felix Rosenqvist, but we'll wait and see on that as he fuels up the car. Where is he going to come out then? That is the question, as he puts on a fresh set of tyres and fuel. As it looks like, who is that? The adrenaline mechanics are getting ready. I think that might be for Wickens. So Wickens didn't make a pit stop. He must have made a mistake on the track to drop that far back, as he's now into the pits, as is Helio Castroneves, who's into the pits for EMR, as Rosenqvist rejoins in 3rd position in front of Hinchcliffe. So Rosenqvist has gained a lot of time in the pits, it must be said, as there's a front wing loss, and that's a car in the wall. That looks like an EMR is going to the wall. Who is that? And there is a car in the wall, I think it's an EMR. There looked to be a car in the wall at that point, and there was a front wing that was missing. I saw a bit of front wing come off a car, and it's Bourdais! It's Bourdais who's out of the race! It's a 3rd consecutive retirement for the defending champion! What is going on with Bourdais this season? There's another crash in front! It's Tony Kanaan! Kanaan has had a crash! It looks like one of the Fantari cars was trying to pass him, and Kanaan, for the 2nd race in a row, has crashed out! He's out of the race after what has been an impressive race from the Brazilian. Kanaan and Bourdais are out of the race. Let's see what may have happened to Bourdais. It was a transmission problem that took care of Bourdais. Oh, it was just bad timing. He clipped Takuma Sato, who's lost a bit of front wing. So the front 2 men have got into drama. Sato having to come back in for a new front wing. Kanaan was trying to find a way around Bourdais, who was pulling up thanks to transmission problems. And Sato was just not expecting it. It will be investigated after the race, but whether anything will come out of it, I don't know. But Bourdais and Kanaan are out of the race, and we're down to 19 runners here at ISM Raceway. And wow, what can you say about that drama here on lap 45 or lap 46 of the race? And wow, everybody trying to swerve around Bourdais. He's being cleared by the marshals. And wow, that's that really as far as they're concerned. As Kanaan out. As is Bourdais. That's the 3rd consecutive retirement. Bourdais is still yet to finish a race this season. The Frenchman is just getting no luck whatsoever, as Rosenqvist is being lapped by new race leader Pietro Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi now leads the race because where is Pagenaud on the track? Is Pagenaud ran into problems? Whereabouts is he on the track? Pagenaud is down in 2nd, in fact. He's actually lost a place to Fittipaldi. So Fittipaldi now leads here at ISM Raceway. So while all that chaos was kicking on, we have a new race leader in the form of Pietro Fittipaldi in the Macaro car. Fittipaldi leads as he now starts lap 49 of 250 here at ISM Raceway. He's now got a 1.2 second lead in front of Simon Pagenaud. I don't know if these guys are on light fuel loads. I presume they are on a light fuel load at this stage. So we should expect them to pit very soon. But we'll wait and see on that as Fittipaldi now puts a lap on World Powers Eldorado. So now they just go around these section of corners. They're just lapping people at the moment. These guys are. Fittipaldi now putting a lap on Newgarden. I think that is. He's just putting a lap on. It is. And now he'll lap Robert Wickens in the adrenaline car. Coming around the bank there then goes Pietro Fittipaldi. As now you go down this straight now. Then there's Fittipaldi. Just puts a lap there then on Robert Wickens. as Fittipaldi continues to lead the way, increases gap in front as Pagenaud struggles to negotiate through this trapeze. He's now stuck behind Will Power's Eldorado. So at this stage, if it stays like this, I can tell you that Pagenaud will lead the Drivers' Championship if it stays like this. But there's still a long way to go yet, and anything can happen in racing, and it usually does, as Fittipaldi's in for his second stop. So the second rounders are already coming into the pits. We thought it was a light fuel load, and Fittipaldi is in. Now, will he fuel quite heavy now? This time by, as it looks like Pagenaud's also in as well. So the top two are into the pits. How much fuel did he take in? That's the question. It says 25.2, but let's see how long the stop is, and then we'll determine if it's a heavy fuel load for these guys, and whether they're going for a heavy stint or pitting at the end of the race. And it is quite a long stop, so it's a heavy fuel load they're putting in to the car. Same with Simon Pagenaud, as they quickly have their pit stop. Now, who was in third at the time? I can't remember who was third, but let's see then. Fittipaldi finishes his stop. It was Rosenqvist. Rosenqvist is coming around the final corner. Rosenqvist could actually lead the race at this stage. He's coming down the straight. Is Rosenqvist going to take the lead of the race here at ISM Raceway? As Newgarden is out of the race, there's Fittipaldi on the left, and Rosenqvist takes the lead. Rosenqvist leads at ISM Raceway. He's just emerged in front of Fittipaldi, and that's the lead for Rosenqvist, as Joseph Newgarden, again with no luck, is out of the race. What has happened to the Target Andy Graham car? And we're trying to find him on the track, and I think we might have missed him, but we'll try and get to him to the best as we can, and let's see if we can try and get him. This time, there he is. We just caught him there. We'll try and get to Rosenqvist again, or Chavez. We just caught him there. It looks like a mechanical problem has taken care of Joseph Newgarden again for the third successive race. And wow, Newgarden's just not getting any luck whatsoever, and try and get to him, and I think we're just struggling to get to him at this stage, so we'll get to Rosenqvist and then see what the problem was. But Joseph Newgarden out of the race, and we're down to 18 runners here at ISM Raceway, and let's see if we can try and get to him, and we just missed him again, going a little bit too quickly. Let's try and calm down a bit, and then we'll try and see if we can get to him. Some of this is taking a bit too long there, as you see on the replay camera. Rosenqvist grabbing the lead from Fittipaldi here at ISM Raceway. Let's try and get to him. There it is. It's a suspension failure that is taking care of Joseph Newgarden. So Newgarden out of the race, and we're down to 18 runners. Newgarden just getting no luck whatsoever with his new team. And when is the guy ever going to catch a break this season? We just don't know at the moment. But after the pit stops, Rosenqvist now leads the race, but Fittipaldi is with him, and Hinchcliffe has got up to third. He's got ahead of Pagenaud, so that's P3 for him. Cashineris has gained a lot after his pit stop. He's up into 5th place after his qualifying ban, as Jones puts a lap on Chavez, as looks like Chavez, Rossi and Alonso will fight it out for 15th place here at ISM. As meantime, Fittipaldi trying to close down on Rosenqvist for the lead of the race now then, as we are on lap 51 of 250 here at the ISM Raceway. And so specifically, lap 52, I do apologise. So specifically, we now have 199 laps to go here at ISM Raceway, as Fittipaldi still trying to put the pressure on the guy in front of him, of course, which is Felix Rosenqvist, the current race leader. Around the bank we go, as Fittipaldi still tries to reel him in at this stage, as now heading down the straight towards the left-hander. We will now go now, and as you can see, Rosenqvist going a tad bit defensive. You can feel the pressure. Fittipaldi is definitely lapping quicker than Rosenqvist at the moment. Just coming around this little bank we go, and can he find a way through on Felix Rosenqvist now then? I think Rosenqvist is another guy who's yet to get any luck this season. I don't think he scored a point yet. As Fittipaldi down the inside of Felix Rosenqvist. Will he get the move done? No, not quite. Rosenqvist just able to hold him off for the moment, to hold on to the lead at the moment. There's now heading down the straight. Will go Pietro Fittipaldi. Out goes Ed Jones, the championship leader, is out of the race. What has happened to Ed Jones? And whereabouts? There he is. He's crashed out. He's crashed out down at turn 2. Ed Jones. Was it pure error, or did somebody take him out? That's what I want to know. But Ed Jones is out of the race, and we're down to 17 runners. And he was hit. Well, he'd already crashed at this point. I think he must have just made a mistake. Rossi was trying to find a way through. Alonso is now close to the back. No, I think Alonso has passed him on seen by the cameras, so he's got 16th. But out of the race goes at Jones, and we're down to 17 runners here at ISM Raceway. As in the meantime, Fittipaldi's still stuck behind Felix Rosenqvist at the moment. So at this stage, it's all good for Pagenaud, because if he can finish this race, he will lead the Drivers' Championship. As now, going around the left-hander, everybody going slow as they attempt to clear Jones's target and the Graham car, having to hoist it across the track. A little bit dangerous, but that's how the game functions, I'm afraid, as now Fittipaldi could be in prime position to take Rosenqvist into the first bank now then. Heading down the straight, Rosenqvist under pressure now then as Fittipaldi looks to the inside. Will the Honda-powered Macamo car get by on the Chevrolet-powered Red Rose Racing car down the inside? And yes, he can. Fittipaldi takes the lead again here at ISM, or does he? Because Rosenqvist has just hung it around the outside. He's held on to the lead. That's some impressive driving there from Felix Rosenqvist to hold on to the lead. How did he able to keep the speed up? I have no idea. It looked like Fittipaldi had got the lead, but Rosenqvist has had a lot of speed going out of that, going on the high side there, and just held on to the lead. Wow, impressive driving there from the Season 4 IFMC GP2 champion and Season 3 IFMC GP3 champion. So really impressive driving from Rosenqvist, showing his talent and why he won both those championships. Again, he's still going quite defensive from Pietro as he still pressures him at the moment for this first place, as Pagenaud tries to find a way through on Hinchcliffe for third place. As now, coming up towards the next bank we go. Fittipaldi will have a look into this left-hander. Can he get the move done? Down the inside into the final banking. Has he got the move done? And yes, he has. Fittipaldi takes the lead this time. No hanging it around the outside. That's the lead of the race yet again for Pietro Fittipaldi in the Macamo car. And that is the race lead for him now then, as Rosenqvist still with him. Fittipaldi goes defensive, but Fittipaldi able to hang him off at the moment. Pagenaud now they're starting to get right onto the gearbox of James Hinchcliffe as they fight it out for third place here at ISM Raceway. And now around this left-hander we go. As meantime now that in front, Rosenqvist is still with him at the moment. Rosenqvist trying to get the lead back off Fittipaldi into that final banking where Fittipaldi got him the lap before but isn't able to do so. Fittipaldi holds on. It allows Hinchcliffe and Pagenaud to close up a little bit on the leaders, as now Pagenaud looks to the inside of James Hinchcliffe. Will he grab third from the Canadian now? Then the Frenchman looks to the inside. Is this going to be third for Pagenaud? I don't think he's close enough, and Hinchcliffe shuts the door on him now then into turn one. As Rosenqvist now then starts to lose a little bit of time to Pietro Fittipaldi now then here at ISM Raceway. Well, I say that, he's still right in his slipstream now then. He could still try and close up as Hinchcliffe and Pagenaud closing a little bit more on the top two then here at ISM Raceway here at Avondale, Arizona. As now round this left-hander we go, as Pagenaud tried to look around the final banking, wasn't able to get the move done as they go down this straight now then, heading in towards the first bank we will go. And Pagenaud trying to find a way through, isn't able to do so at the moment. Now then round this first banking again we will go, as Castaneres loses time to those guys in front, looking quite lonely in fifth. Hunter Race sixth at this stage, as Ray Hall is in seventh at the moment. Could get caught up by Dixon in a minute, as lots of battles going on around the track, and Rosenqvist continuing to lose the time now then to Pietro Fittipaldi. Round this banking we go. Can Pagenaud find a way through? This time by on James Hinchcliffe now then, as he gets in the slipstream. He doesn't look like Pagenaud again is close enough, so Hinchcliffe should be able to hold on to third into the first bank. He does defend anyway, but Pagenaud wasn't even close enough to try and attack him that time around anyway. So either way, he was going to hold on to third for the moment, as now Pagenaud tries to have a look into this little left-hander now then, and isn't able to do so. Hinchcliffe shutting the door on him now then into that left-hander as they make their way into the left-hander on the track. Around this banking we will go, as Pagenaud tries to find a way through then on James Hinchcliffe heading down the straight. And can he try and find a way through then into this next left-hander? They will soon go on the track now. They're heading down the straight in towards the next left-hander we will go. And so it looks like Hinchcliffe might be starting to get a little bit of an edge at the moment, as Rosenqvist continues to lose the time to new race leader Pietro Fittipaldi. Now then, as Fittipaldi goes around this final bank to start another lap now then here at ISM Raceway. Specifically, he now starts, let's have a look now then as he crosses the line. He starts lap 62 of 250 then here at ISM Raceway, as the laps continue to come down a lot. during this race as Fittipaldi tries to get up close to the wall as best as possible now then. On the left-hander he goes as he tries to put a lap on the Eldorado that's in front of him at the moment. Meantime, look at Pagenaud. Can he find a way through perhaps into the final banking? This time Buys now right onto the gearbox of the Canadian. Isn't able to have a look into that left-hander. Could he possibly into the first bend? Try a move as he's got a lot of traction coming out of there. In the slipstream then goes Simon Pagenaud. He's going to look to the inside. Will Pagenaud get the move done? Hinchcliffe still has a bit of an edge. I think he's tagging onto the slipstream a little bit from Felix Rosenqvist in front down the inside. And again, Hinchcliffe shuts the door into the first banking to hold on into third place for the moment as they continue to scrap it out for the final podium place. Castroneves is just in the background there. So if these two keep on fighting, Castroneves could try and feed himself into this battle after only starting down in 20th due to his qualifying ban for causing an incident with, I think it was Pietro Fittipaldi that he caused it with. So he's down the field at the moment. He was down the field, but he's up in 5th place. In fact, Fittipaldi from all the way down in 21st position is now leading the race. It will be such a remarkable comeback drive from Fittipaldi if he's able to come through to take his first ever IFMC IndyCar victory, but he's still got a long way to go in this race. Anything can happen in racing, and it usually does, as now we will approach the next banking on the track. So the pair of them at the same time continuing to close down on second place man Felix Rosenqvist. Now then in this race, Pagenaud now then in the slipstream of James Hinchcliffe. Can he get the move done? He's going to look to the inside. He's in the slipstream. Can he pull the move off? As he tries to have a look now then down the inside goes Simon Pagenaud. Is this P3? This time by for the Frenchman. Hildebrand having to go on the high side there to give Pagenaud the space. And with enough grip round the outside, he's able to hold on to third for the moment. Now then into this left-hander we go. As now we will approach the second banking on the track. As now through this left-hander we go. Can Pagenaud find a way through this time by down the pit straight round this left-hander? Heading down the straight towards turn number 1 now. Then Pagenaud will look to the inside. Can he get third this time by? He tried to have a little look and he's still on the inside now. Then will he force Hinchcliffe to go onto the high side again? And Hinchcliffe just able to have enough drive. He's got understeer. Can he avoid the wall? Well, he clattered the wall, but he's lucky not to sustain some damage there. Hinchcliffe touches the wall on the outside, but so lucky not to sustain some damage. But again, Pagenaud could take advantage and isn't able to do so. How on earth Hinchcliffe didn't sustain some damage from that, I have no idea. But either way, the pair of them now lose time a little bit to Felix Rosenqvist at this stage of the race. Heading down this straight we will go. As now Hinchcliffe now then having to shut the door on that turn 2, which had to make Pagenaud lift off the acceleration a little bit. Now able to have enough of a gap down that start-finish line, start-finish straight that time by, and to hold on to third for the moment. As now to go through the left-hander now then in towards the next left-hander they will soon go. So the pair of them look to continue to scrap it out for third place here at ISM Raceway. Round the left-hander we go. Pagenaud now right in the slipstream. Can he get third this time by from James Hinchcliffe? These two have been battling now then for a majority of the race ever since Pagenaud made his pit stop, his second pit stop of the race. He doesn't look like he's close enough, and Hinchcliffe able to shut the door round the first banking now. Then Pagenaud probably getting frustrated, and all of this is just allowing the EMR driver of Helio Castroneves to close up on these guys. The man that started all the way down in 20th could find himself on the podium now then. So two men that suffer from qualifying bans up in the top 5 at the moment. Fittipaldi leading the race, Castroneves in 5th, closing down the podium runners, and both doing a good job, it must be said, in this race. Meantime again, Pagenaud looking to the inside now then of James Hinchcliffe. Will he get the move done for third place? Can he get the move done? Pagenaud trying to stick to the inside, but in the end he had to back out because Hinchcliffe was about to shut the door. And again, Pagenaud probably just getting that little bit more frustrated, being stuck behind the martini of James Hinchcliffe at the mayor of Hinchtown, doing a good job at this stage, but it's just allowing Helio Castroneves in the EMR car to close up on them at this stage. Around the banking now then we will go. So now they go down the start-finish straight now then on the track. And Pagenaud not close enough to get Hinchcliffe down the pit straight this time by. So now around the swooping left-hander we will go. And now on lap 70 of 250 here at ISM Raceway. So we now have specifically 181 laps remaining here at Phoenix. As now Fittipaldi just goes around the final banking now then to start lap 71 of the race as he tries to lap JR Hildebrand in the Silicon Valley racing car. As now Pagenaud still not close enough to the back of Hinchcliffe. Hinchcliffe has so far done a good job defending him off. Castaneves now right on the back of this battle for third place and fancying his chances of a podium. As now round the left-hander we go now, then just coming off the turn. And now round the left-hander we go now on the track. Pagenaud right in the slipstream. Can he get Hinchcliffe into the final banking this time by? And he's close. He thought about having a look, but he's going to decide to tuck back into the Canadian slipstream now. Then round this left-hander we go, heading down the straight. Will Hinchcliffe be able to fend off this time, or will Pagenaud finally get third place from him? He looks to the inside again. Two Honda-powered cars going side by side down to the first banking. Can Pagenaud get the move done this time? And this time around, after so much frustration, Pagenaud up into third place. He gets the move done, and that's P3 for the Frenchman, who at this stage will be leading the Drivers' Championship if he can just finish the race, of course, with Ed Jones retiring thanks to crashing out at the exit of turn 1, just before the exit of the first banking, I should say, just before they got to that little left-hander. And wow, that's that really now then, as now Castaneves starts to reel in on James Hinchcliffe for fourth place, so he fancies his chances as well as they now go into the banking on the track. And so now around this left-hander we will now go as the EMR driver tries everything he can to reel in Hinchcliffe in front for fourth place now then. As meantime Fittipaldi with a big lead out in front of the moment, and he's about to start what lap? He's got a 4.4 second cushion now in front of Felix Rosenquist. He now starts lap 74 of 280. The laps continuing to close down as we will pass the 100 lap mark in 27 yes, in 27 laps time. We'll be at the lap 100 mark of the race. Not quite the halfway stage. The halfway stage will be at lap 125 here at ISM Raceway, but we'll be at the 100 lap zone in around 27 laps time as Fittipaldi comes up to some more traffic in front of him at the moment as he continues to have a big lead in front of the second place man Felix Rosenquist, who might start to be getting chased down by Pagenaud as he's now pulled a gap in front of James Hinchcliffe. Hinchcliffe busy now fending off from Helio Castroneves behind him now. Then Castroneves right on the back of him. We now look at this battle for fourth between Hinchcliffe and Castroneves now then. Around the banking we will go on the track as Castroneves tries to get a hold of Hinchcliffe in front as they continue to scrap it up for fourth. He's right in the slipstream. Can Castroneves get hold of him into the final banking? He thought about having a go. Can he maybe have a look? He's going to have a look onto the final banking, but Hinchcliffe shuts the door and holds on to fourth place for the moment in this race as he just come out of the final banking, heading down the start finish straight. Can Castroneves find a way through on James Hinchcliffe now then here at Phoenix in towards the first banking? He wasn't close enough that time by, possibly because Castroneves lost the momentum, having to back out from Hinchcliffe, shutting the door on him into that final banking. As now Castroneves, can he find a way through at the moment as Will Power had to let through Simon Pagenaud as he is a back marker now. Then Castroneves looking to the inside again into this final banking, but again having to back out as Hinchcliffe just shut the door there. But can Castroneves get the slipstream down the start finish straight? And I don't think he will. Maybe the traffic in front in the form of Will Power could help these guys out, but we'll wait and see. Into the next banking, Hinchcliffe defends the inside now then and holds on to fourth for the moment now then in towards the left-hander. Castroneves out right on the prowl of James Hinchcliffe. Can he grab fourth from him at this stage now? Then he looks to the inside. Hinchcliffe shutting the door through that little left-hander. Castroneves still within him at the moment and possibly now starting to prepare himself for the pit straight now then. Around the left-hander we will go on the track now then. Castroneves in the slipstream of James Hinchcliffe now then. He's going to look to the inside. Well, he's still tucked up into his slipstream now then, leaving it late. He's going to look to the inside. Hinchcliffe trying to shut the door. He squeezes him and Castroneves had to back out of that one. So again Hinchcliffe going very defensive at the moment as Castroneves now still stuck behind the Martini at this stage. He tries to have a look for this little left-hander, but again Hinchcliffe, just like on the previous lap, able to shut the door as Pagenaud now right on the prowl of Felix Rosenquist for second place. Not within the slipstream, but he's getting quite close to the Swedish driver at this stage. I could just see within the background of this battle right in front. As now Castaneras looks to the inside of Hinchcliffe. Can he get the move done on the Martini? This time by now then. In towards the first banking. Can he get the move done? I don't think he's close enough. And Hinchcliffe again able to shut the door. Castaneras though still trying to get underneath him. But isn't able to work it out. Hinchcliffe holding on to fourth. At this stage now then of the race. Through this left-hander we will go. And as they will soon approach the next banking. So through the left-hander now then we will soon go, as Castaneras now then right on the prow of him at this stage. They'll soon go down the pit straight now. Then will Castaneras find a way through on James Hinchcliffe? He's going to look to the inside. There's traffic in front, and that's allowing Hinchcliffe to get away from Castaneras down the straight, because he's tagging onto the slipstream of Will Power in the Eldorado. Around the left-hander we go. And now can Castaneras find a way through on him in a little bit? How far behind is Pagenaud on Rosenquist? Well, in fact, he's now right on the backside of the Swede. He's going to look to the inside. Can Pagenaud grab second from Rosenquist? No, not quite. Rosenquist able to hold him off for the moment. As now they go through this left-hander, as meantime Alonso has dropped a place down to 17th, so he's losing a few places at the moment. As the two Fantarigars, Sato had to come in for a new front wing. Let's not forget they fight it out for 15th place as Fittipaldi tries to put a lap on them, which he does. What about Pagenaud on Rosenquist? Wasn't able to find a way through. Rosenquist able to fend him off, as Castaneras has now lost time to Hinchcliffe, possibly because of the fact that they were lapping Power. So Castaneras has got to get his foot down and try and work hard to close back up the gap between himself and Hinchcliffe as they continue to scrap it out. And further down the inside goes Pagenaud into the final banking, and he takes second. Up into second place goes Simon Pagenaud, and back up into P2 goes the Frenchman. But can Rosenquist stick in his slitcher and try and get him into the first banking again? Pagenaud defends the inside, and he holds on to second. So back up into second place goes Simon Pagenaud in a Silicon Valley racing car, as Fittipaldi will soon be starting lap 83 of 250 here at ISM Raceway. We're 3 minutes away from the 3:30 mark, for anybody wondering. So we have been racing now, then we've been on the stream for about an hour now. So for nearly an hour now, it must be said. As now Rosenquist is still not giving up on him. Rosenquist going back down the inside. Can he retake second from Simon Pagenaud into the first banking down the inside? And Pagenaud trying to hang it around the outside, around the corner, and with just enough speed, Pagenaud holds on to second place. Rosenquist had to back out, and now Pagenaud's got a bit of a gap. Castaneras looking to the inside of Hinchcliffe. They went side by side through the first banking. Hinchcliffe just able to hold on for the moment now then, as they now make their way around the final banking on the track. Up towards the final banking, Castaneras again losing a bit of time to the Canadian of James Hinchcliffe. Around this banking we will now go, as Pagenaud now pulls a gap on Rosenquist. He can try and see if he can close down that huge gap between himself and Fittipaldi, as the two Fantari cars continue to scrap it up for 15th. Sato is taking 15th there from Alexander Rossi, unseen by the cameras, as Alonso tries to close up on the pair of them, as Pagenaud laps his teammate JR Hildebrand, and Rosenquist will soon follow suit. Castaneras is still stuck behind at the moment, unable to get him into the first bend, maybe into the last banking. Out goes Juan Pablo Montoya. Montoya is out of the race, and there he is. It's a suspension failure. That's the second suspension failure we've seen at ISM Raceway. Montoya out of the race, and we're down to 16 runners, I think, here at ISM Raceway. So Montoya out. As meantime, Castaneras looks to the inside of James Hinchcliffe into the final banking, but again Hinchcliffe shuts the door and holds on to fourth place, and yet we are down to 16 runners. Montoya out of the race thanks to a suspension problem. Rosenquist, the only Red Rose Racing car left in the race, as they now made their way into the first banking. Castaneras again having to work hard to get back on the prowl of Hinchcliffe for fourth place. As Pagenaud now, they're trying to lap the traffic if he can, as Alonso's the man currently bringing up the rear of the field, down in 16th place at the moment, as he tries to get hold of the Fantari cars. Meantime, Sato making progress. He's pulling away from Rossi after he had to change his front wing, and his next target is quite a long way away, but his next target will be Gabby Chavez in the Macamo car, as Fittipaldi is coming up soon to lap Ray Hall and Chavez now then. And now around the banking we will soon go, as they just make their way around this left-handed banking on the track. Just coming off the turn now then. As Fittipaldi now then starts lap number 87 of 250 here at ISM Raceway. So specifically, we now have 174 laps remaining here at Phoenix. And let's try and get back to the battle for 4th place. And Castaneras is up to 4th. He has got 4th place for Hinchcliffe. But Hinchcliffe trying to get him back into the first banking, which I think he does. But Castaneras trying to hang in around the outside. And Hinchcliffe had to back out of it. And up into 4th place goes Helio Castaneras in the EMR. So P4 for the Brazilian. He finally gets the move done. And up into 4th place goes the EMR of Helio Castaneras. Next time for him, quite a bit away, is Felix Rosenqvist in the Red Rose racing car now then, as he just goes around the final banking now then to try and chase down the Swedish driver in front as he goes down the long straight on the track. As meantime now then, Fittipaldi there just put a lap on Graham Rahal as he continues to dominate the race out in front at the moment, as we've just passed the 3:30 mark for anybody wondering here in the UK, as they now just come out of the banking now then heading down the pit straight. As Fittipaldi now then heading down towards the first banking on the track. So around the left-hander then goes Fittipaldi, just coming off the turn. As now he will make his way around the left-hander now then before approaching the next banking on the track, as he will try and lap his own teammate Gabby Chavez in a little bit. As that's that really as far as they are concerned. Now any battles we need to keep an eye on. It seems that everybody at this stage has started to separate themselves out just a little bit and just got themselves into a little bit of a rhythm at this stage. What's the gap between Castaneras and Rosenqvist? Well, on the previous lap it was 3.5 seconds, but let's see what the gap is like on this lap as they go in towards the left-handed banking, the first left-handed banking. Round the left-hander we go, and the gap 3.3. So Castaneras has taken 2/10 out of Rosenqvist's lead out in front as he continues to try and slice that gap down in front. As now they'll just go around those section of corners as Pagano there and just pull a lap on Alexander Rossi, I think, and Rossi having to let Pagano go there then. Around the left-hander we will go, and so now just coming around the left-hander, and now around this left-hander there then goes Alexander Rossi as he tries to get up, maybe possibly use Pagano as a bit of a guide to try and close up on teammate Sato again, but Sato currently flying as he's trying to unlap himself at the expense of 9th place man Robert Wickens in the adrenaline car. As now around the next left-hander we will soon go, as Wickens in fact is trying to close in onto Graham Rahal for 8th place, so we could have a bit of a scrap between those two in a little bit. But we'll wait and see on that as the race progresses. As Sato, will he unlap himself possibly into the final banking? He's going to have a go, and he thought about it, but Wickens decided to shut the door, and all this is possibly costing him time to try and get hold of Rahal in front. And so that's that for them really now then. The gap between Castaneras and Rosenqvist now then, as things have started to calm down a bit here on the oval. It was 2.9 last time by, so Castaneras took 4/10 out of him last lap. Gap this time by into the first banking. This time by it is going around the first banking, it is 2.7, so he takes 2/10 out of him. So Castaneras continuing to close that gap down between himself and Felix Rosenqvist as he looks to try and grab the final podium place off the Swede now then, as he continues to get away from James Hinchcliffe in front, as Hinchcliffe now possibly looking quite lonely in 5th place. Ryan Hunter-Ray, who's currently in 6th place, quite a long way behind him at the moment and possibly not giving him any threats at this stage, but we'll wait and see on that now then, as they just make their way around the banking, coming off the turn before approaching the start-finish straight. And so approaching the left-hander we will soon go on the track, and so around the banking then goes Ryan Hunter-Ray, as he's currently in 6th place now in the race, and just going around that left-hander before approaching the banking on the track through the left-hander. So we'll see what the gap is like between him and Hinchcliffe on the next lap. Now then, through this final banking goes Ryan Hunter-Reay at this stage of the race, as he's got a 5.3 second cushion in front of Scott Dixon, while the gap between him and Hinchcliffe in front. Into the first banking he will go, and the gap being, let's have a look, for the first banking it is, as he gets close to the wall on the outside, 7.8 seconds. So that's how it looks at this stage. And now there's just a car between Rosenqvist and Castaneras. That looks like it's now under 2 seconds. Well, it's 2.2, but we'll see what it is on the next lap now. Then is it now under 2 seconds between the pair of them as they go around the first banking? But of course, bearing in mind that Castaneras has to negotiate the traffic, it's down to 1.7 seconds. So Castaneras took 5 tenths out of Rosenqvist's lead that time by, as now he makes his way approaching the next banking on the track, and through the left-hander we will go. And now heading down the straight, Castaneras will now put a lap then on JR Hildebrand in the Silicon Valley racing car. As it goes to the inside, he now puts a lap on him, and now he can focus on his quest to try and get Felix Rosenqvist. There he is, he's not that far in front, and it's now down to 1.3 seconds, another 4 tenths Castaneras took out of him that time by. As now they make their way around these section of corners now then on the track, and now up towards the banking we will soon go on the track around this left-hander. And so now just coming off the banking, now they're heading down the start-finish straight. And it looks like, in fact, J.R. Hildebrand is trying to unlap himself, it seems. Hildebrand looking to the inside. So this will not help Castaneras in trying to get hold of Rosenqvist. And Castaneras now then just trying to hang it around the outside, which he is. And Hildebrand having no choice but to back out. But that will cost Castaneras a bit of time, I'm pretty sure of it. Well, I say that, he's still right with him at the moment. He's near the Swedish driver's slipstream. And now Castaneras has got a gap between himself and the back marker of JR Hildebrand. So through the left-hander he goes. The gap now then between Castaneras and Rosenqvist coming out of that final bank is now, as they go down the pit straight, as we're 1 lap away from the 100 lap mark, as now through the left-hander we go. The gap between them is now, let's have a look, 1 second exactly. So he still took 3 tenths out of him that time by. As meantime, Fittipaldi is about to start lap number 100 here at ISM Raceway. We have reached the 100 lap mark, and Pietro Fittipaldi starts lap 100 here at ISM Raceway. 151 laps remaining here at Phoenix. Meantime, back to the battle for third between Rosenqvist and Helio Castaneras now then, as they will soon approach the first banking on the track. Now then, Castaneras around this left-hander we will go. And they're still trying to put some pressure on the guy in front at this stage, as they will come around this left-hander on the track. As the Brazilian tries to put a little bit more pressure on the guy in front of Felix Rosenqvist, and we'll have a look and see what the gap is like in a little bit. He's now close right up to his slipstream now then, as they made their way down towards the pit straight now then. Lap 101 we're now on here at Phoenix Raceway around the left-hander. The gap between them being, let's have a look, it is 0.6 seconds. So that's how that looks at this stage, as they will soon go around the next left-hander on the track, as he puts some pressure now then on the Swede in front. As through the left-hander we go. Can Castaneras possibly try and get Rosenqvist into the first banking now? Then coming out of that last banking he'll go down the pit straight. Can he grab third from Rosenqvist now then? Down the pit straight we go into the first banking. Rosenqvist goes defensive, and rightfully so. He holds on to third for the moment as the pair of them come up to lap Fernando Alonso in the E-Par car. Alonso really struggling to get to grips around this ISM Raceway track, and he'll probably want to move on to Texas Motor Speedway next weekend in Houston, Texas. Now in towards the next left-hander we will soon go on the track, and Around that left-hander we go now then, and look how close Castaneras is getting now then as he gets into the slipstream. He's going to try and go for a move into the first bend now then, into the first banking. Down the inside goes Helio Castaneras. Can he grab third place from Felix Rosenqvist? Can he get later on the brakes into the first banking? He's down the inside, but Rosenqvist just able to hang in around the outside and hold on to third for the moment. So Rosenqvist able to hold him off at this stage, and this could allow Hinchcliffe to close back in onto these guys, so it could even be a three-way scrap for third at this stage if these two continue to scrap it out at the moment. Into the next left-hander we will go on the track. Will Castaneras find a way through this time by? He's in the slipstream of Rosenqvist. Down the pitch, there he goes. He's going to look to the inside. Can he pull the move off this time by? He's unable to find a way through that time by. Down the inside he goes. Can he get it done and not close that time by? And Castaneras going a little bit deep into the first banking there, and that should give Rosenqvist a bit of breathing space, but not too much. Castaneras still right on him now then. As now into the next banking we will go, and I can just see in the background though Hildebrand is trying to unlap himself at the expense of James Hinchcliffe, so that might help Rosenqvist and Castaneras out a little bit if Hildebrand is busy trying to unlap himself from Hinchcliffe. So that could really help him out at this stage of the race. Meantime, Castaneras again trying to look to the inside of Rosenqvist, but Rosenqvist again choosing to defend the inside and hold on to third place at the moment. Hildebrand again trying to unlap himself. Hinchcliffe trying to hang it around the outside, and he's able to hold on for the moment. This is definitely helping out third and fourth for the moment. It's costing Hinchcliffe a lot of time as now Castaneras looks to the inside into the final banking. Can he get the move done on Rosenqvist this time by? No, Rosenqvist again holds him off around this banking now then on the track, heading down the pit straight now then. And can Castaneras find a way through into the first banking? Next time by, he's in the slipstream. Is he going to look to the inside? He's going to have a look. Rosenqvist trying to shut the door. It's just another gap down the inside, and that's a beautiful pass from Helio Castaneras. Not enough space, but he just found enough, and up into third place goes Helio Castaneras in the EMR. Rosenqvist has been pushed off the podium, and that's P3 for Helio Castaneras after starting all the way down in 20th. He is now onto the podium, and now can he try and chase down Simon Pagenaud? It'll be a bit of a task, but he'll want to try and gain onto him for second place now then, as he's now got a big enough gap in front of Felix Rosenqvist in this race. So that's that. As meantime, Hildebrand continuing to try and find himself a way through on Hinchcliffe, as Hinchcliffe will now try and close up onto Rosenqvist for fourth place now then, as Hunter Ray's out. What has happened to Hunter Ray? Hunter Ray's got suspension failure. He's clipped someone. That is that Macamo car he's clipped. Is that Fittipaldi by any chance? No, it's not. It's Fittipaldi. He's gone through. It might be Chavez. He might have lost his front wing with. And so we try and get to Chavez. And no, it was Rahal. In fact, Rahal got clipped as well. And Rahal trying to find a way around. And well, it was because Fittipaldi. And I think it's now actually crashed my game. In fact, it's actually froze my game. And well, that's that really. It has completely frozen my game here at ISM Raceway. And well, that's that really. A kind of a similar thing to what we had down at Kota. And well, it has completely frozen my game, that crash has. I don't know why, but quite a weird one that is. So yeah, it's completely crashed my game. So that's pretty much that really. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try and see if we can get a restart underway. It might involve another pit stop, we don't know, but I'm going to try and get a restart on the board from the lap that it was taken. So it's given Chavez, sorry, Rahal really, pretty much saved his bacon really, you have to say. So what we'll do, we'll get a restart. So just hold on for a tick and I'll try and get this sorted out. Now it should be 143 laps because that is the number that, because Fittipaldi didn't cross the line once the crash happened. So we're on lap 108 of 250. Hope there shouldn't be another pit stop, but there could be. I'm not 100% sure, but I should have the correct as well. Unfortunately, some of the retirements from the previous race are back in it, but they will not be classified in the final results. They will still be classed as retirements as per usual. So let's try and get to the second part of the race and finish this one off. So here we are then, back here again with part number 2 of the race now then. Fittipaldi on the right, Pagenaud on the left. Who's going to get the lead into turn 1 as we wait for the 5 red lights to go off again for part 2 of the race now then. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights are on, and it is go yet again for part number 2, and Fittipaldi's got an excellent launch. Pagenaud also has a good start as well. The front 2 get away reasonably well as well. Rosenquist looking to the outside of Castaneres into the first bend now. Then will he get the move done? He's trying to hang around the outside of Castaneres, as is Alexander Rossi, who's gone up a few places as well. I think that's Rossi, as has that's Hinchcliffe as well. Hinchcliffe has made up a few places as well, as is Alexander Rossi. He's gone up into 5th place. Good start from him. Castaneres and Rosenquist have a terrible start as they now go around the banking now then. Everybody just trying to find their way through into this banking. It's Fittipaldi though, who still continues to lead the way, but it's Hinchcliffe in 2nd place, Pagenaud 3rd, Rossi though trying to get 3rd place of Simon Pagenaud now then as he makes the way down towards the first banking now then on the racetrack now then. Through the left-hander we go. I'll have to check, of course, with fastest lap as well to see who got it from the previous race, to see if race 1 or race 2 has the quicker fastest lap. Now through the left-hander we go. Rossi had to go there, but Pagenaud covered him off. Castaneres is looking to the inside there. He's already disposed of Rosenquist. He's busy fending off Rahal into the left-hander, and that's P4 for Helio Castaneres. So P4 for the EMR driver now then as they go down towards the straight now then heading towards the first bank. It's Fittipaldi though that still leads the way from Hinchcliffe. Pagenaud trying to get back at Hinchcliffe if he can. Castaneres is trying to follow through, trying to get back in the position that he was from race 1, of course, which was 3rd place. Hildebrand and Rahal getting by on Rossi, is now starting to go backwards through the field. Rosenquist down to 8th, and oh, we got a crash! We've got a crash down the left-hander. It's Wickings who's lost the front wing. Chavez has also got involved as well. Who was the one that got turned around? I think that might have been who was the one that got turned around? We've got a little bit of a crash down into turn 1, and well, through the first banking, there's the contact, and it's one of the Eldorados that made the contact. It was Will Power. Will Power has lost the front wheel. He didn't retire from the first race, so he joins the retirement. Will Power out of the race, and we're down to 14 classified runners in this race now then. And that incident will be investigated after the race, of course. Let's see it from their perspective, of course. So it was 3 wide going into there, and Chavez tags the left-hand side there of Andretti, which propels him, Wickens, which propels him into power. Nothing that Wickens could do. He was just a sitting passenger at that point. So it looks like Chavez has caused the incident. Let's have a look from the onboard as he was, well, he was kind of pinched in the middle, and then there was the contact between Wickens, so it'll have to be investigated. That may be a tough one to call for the stewards, so that will be investigated after the race, along with that incident in race 1 between Kanaan and who was the other one? I think it was Rahal, I think that was the other one. I can't quite remember, but it was one that was involving Kanaan, which took him out of the race. So, but Will Power out, and we're down to 14 classified runners then here at Phoenix, as now Fittipaldi continues to lead. He's got Hinchcliffe trying to breathe down on him now then as they go down this straight in towards the first bend. Confirmation of Power is out of the race. Helio Castaneres sets the fast lap of 31.510 here at ISM Raceway, and he's down the inside of Pagenaud, and he's got the place. And did he pass on the yellow flags, in fact, because there's yellow flags down there? Did Castaneres pass on the yellow flags? That is the question now then, as he looked to the inside there of James Hinchcliffe. Let's have a look. Was the yellow flags when he passed Pagenaud there then? And there wasn't. He passed just before the yellow flags were there, so Castaneres able to get through before he got to the yellow flag zone. So just to double check there, but Castaneres did clear before the yellow flags were there, as everybody trying to avoid the car that's being hoisted over onto the other side. Wickens in to repair the front wing again, just not getting any luck whatsoever in this race now then, as Castaneres trying to get hold of Hinchcliffe, but it looks like Pagenaud is trying to get back on him, trying to get a run on the Brazilian now then. as they make their way into the first banking. Meantime, Hildebrand on the inside of, which one is that? That is Rahal. He's on the inside of. Can he get the move done? And yes, he can. He goes through back into 5th place there. Then goes Hildebrand, as now Rosenquist tries to find a way through on Graham Rahal for 6th place. As Dixon's on the back of this lot as well, as is Alexander Rossi, Marco Andretti, Fernando Alonso. Borde is not classified, nor is Montoya, nor is Jones. Sato there as well. Chilton's not classified, nor is Newgarden. Kanan isn't. Hunter Ray isn't anymore. He obviously crashed out. Gabby Chavez still able to keep going. Of course, because he didn't retire in the first race, but I'm guessing he must have gone a little bit backwards, or even sustained some damage himself, as Hinchcliffe trying to get hold, as the top 4 are pretty much grouped together with each other now then at this stage, as now Fittipaldi tries to keep on the lead he had in the first race, the advantage he had from the first race being wiped out as a result, and Fittipaldi trying to resume it if he can now then. Round the left-hander goes Pietro Fittipaldi now then, as he's about to start, as he will soon cross the line in a little bit. Hinchcliffe not close enough to get him down this straight. He now starts just trying to plus 7 onto the 100, and I'm trying to think now then. He is now on lap number 115 of 250 here, as Borde now sets the fastest lap, but that doesn't count of course because he crashed out in the first part of the race, so he will not have his fastest lap classified there then. As now through the first bank, look how close Hinchcliffe is getting as he looks to make it 2 wins in a row, trying to take advantage of the red flag. And now can Hinchcliffe try and grab the lead from Pietro Fittipaldi, as he now looks to the inside? Is Hinchcliffe going to grab the lead from the Brazilian now then, as they go side by side into the first bank? Is Hinchcliffe going to grab the lead into the first banking? And yes, he can. Hinchcliffe takes the lead of the race, and whether that will put him in the lead of the Drivers' Championship, I have no idea, but Fittipaldi has lost the lead, and now Castroneves is trying to get hold of Fittipaldi himself now then. Up towards the next bank he will go now then, as Castroneves looks to the inside into this left-hander now then. He tried to have a go, but Fittipaldi shut the door now then, as Fittipaldi just having enough grip around the outside just to keep himself in front. As Pagano now right on the back of Castroneves himself, heading down towards the first bank. They're still keeping within touching distance of new race leader James Hinchcliffe. Now then here at ISM Raceway, as Hinchcliffe trying to get up close to the wall there then, as Castroneves now tries to have a go at Fittipaldi shutting the door there then, as now it's going to bring Pagano just a tad bit closer to that scrap now then, as they make the way into the left hand. In the meantime, Dixon on the back of Rahal now then, as he scrap for 6th place. Dixon unable to find a way through there into that corner. As meantime now then, here's James Hinchcliffe continues to lead the way. It's now Castroneves doesn't go down the inside of Fittipaldi. Will he get the move done? And now Fittipaldi just able to shut the door and holds on to 2nd place at the moment in this race now then, as he tries to get up close to the wall there then. Around the left-hander we go, heading down towards this next left-hander. Castroneves now looking to the inside into this next banking. Can he grab 2nd this time? No, Fittipaldi chops him off there. Then can Pagano try and take advantage and try and get onto the prow of Castroneves now then, heading down the pit straight. His teammate JR Hildebrand isn't that far behind either, heading down this straight. And as I said, I don't know if there will be a pit stop. I doubt it, but we'll wait and see in terms of the fuel loads what's going to happen with these guys now then, as you can see, Pagano right on the prowl of these guys now then. Fittipaldi doing a good job holding off Castroneves, again shutting the door on Castroneves into that left-hander. Can Pagano try and get onto the outside? He can't, but can he maybe onto the inside into this next bank, and he's going to look to the inside. Can he find a way from Castroneves? No, he can't. Castroneves able to fend him off that time by, as he just go around that left-hander heading down the pit straight. Now can he try and possibly into the first banking, get the move done now then? Down the inside he goes. Can he get the move done into the first corner? Down the inside he goes, and yes he can. Pagano retakes 3rd from Helio Castroneves, back up into 3rd place goes Simon Pagano in the Silicon Valley racing car. Now can he try and get Pietro Fittipaldi for 2nd place now then, as Hildebrand tries to chase down Castroneves himself. For 4th, as unseen by the cameras, Dixon is taking 6th from Rahal, so up to 6th place goes Scott Dixon, as now Andretti tries to attack Rahal for 7th place. Borde does not count of course, so just ignore him for the moment. Alonso's the one that's classified in 9th place at the moment, as he just make the way around that banking now then on the track. As Pagano now starting to pull a bit of a gap again onto Helio Castroneves now. Then through the first little bank he will go. Pagano trying to see if he can get out of Fittipaldi in front of him at the moment. As Hinchcliffe now, in fact, isn't really pulling away much. It looks like Fittipaldi is starting to get back into his slipstream. It seems that Fittipaldi clearly wanting the lead back off James Hinchcliffe. If he can now, then round this left-hander we will go. And so just going around that section of corners now, then heading down the pit straight. As Fittipaldi does everything in his power to try and get hold of James Hinchcliffe in front. What is the gap between them at this stage as they go around the first bank? The gap is 0.9 seconds, so it's still under a second between them at this stage. So now they just go around the left-hander on the track. Now they're heading down towards the next left-hander on the track. We will soon go. As now they make their way into this left-hander. We will go. As Castroneves tries to get up to the back of Pagano now then in this race. As now Bourdais will try and get hold of Pagano in front. And he's not close enough that time by. It looks like he's trying to catch back up to the Frenchman and try and retake him. At the moment, Castroneves finds himself in a Silicon Valley Racing sandwich at this stage. I'm going to have to really, when I come to re-uploading this onto YouTube, it's going to have to be... We'll have to combine the two clips again, so whoopee will be a bit of a task, considering that I usually have some space issues on my Mac. So now round this left-hander we go. Can Castroneves retake third from Simon Pagano as he goes down the inside of the Frenchman? Can he get himself alongside? It doesn't look like he's close enough. Looks like Pagano's just going to hold off into the first banking, which he does. Castroneves trying to get underneath him there, but wasn't able to. So Pagano holding on to third for the moment in this race now. Then it's me time. Just ignore Bourdais. That's not really a battle we're worried about at this stage. And so now round the left-hander we go. I just hope that these retirements don't affect people's racing in terms of taking them out of the race. I mean, Power got taken out by actual people that were still in the race. Not ones that were retired, of course. Meantime, back to the front men. Castroneves looking to the inside again on Simon Pagano. Can he find a way through? And again, Pagano covers him off. Holds on to third for the minute now then. As they come out of that banking now then, heading in towards the left-hander on the track. As Fittipaldi, look how close he's getting again onto Hinchcliffe. Castroneves had a go, had to back out of it. And it could bring Hildebrand now a tad bit closer to the back of the Brazilian's gearbox now then. Around the left-hander we go now then, as he'll soon go down the pit straight. And to start another lap, Hildebrand trying to see if he can try and grab some more points if he can. In terms of people that were laps down earlier, there's not really much I can do about that, I'm afraid. So everybody has kind of been reset to the lap that they were on. So I do apologise for that. There's not really much I can do about that. So you're just going to have to just going to have to make do with that, I'm afraid. So now around the left-hander now then we go. Hildebrand trying to get up on terms with Helio Castroneves now in the race as he goes down the pit straight. Hildebrand looking to the inside. Can he get the move done? And so he's trying to have a look if he can. Well, just to pretend that the drivers that were a lap down had a chance to drive around again, just to get back on the lead lappers. Down the inside goes J.R. Hildebrand, and that's P4 for the Silicon Valley Racing car. So over to fourth place goes J.R. Hildebrand as he tries to get hold of Simon Pagano in front of him at this stage. But can Castroneves get him back into the last banking? Castroneves hasn't done with him yet, but Hildebrand covers him off and holds on to fourth place. This allows the Pagano to pull away a bit from them at the moment as he tries to get up with this battle for the lead, as the top three look like they're going to group together at this stage now then. As Bourdais, that doesn't count as well, but 31.309 for Bourdais. As now round this left-hander we go. And we didn't quite see what the gap was like that time by. As we're now on lap 127 as Rossi's into the pits. Is that a mechanical problem or a scheduled stop? And it is a scheduled stop, so we will be expecting pit stops in part 2. There's not really much I can do about that, I'm afraid, guys. It's just how the game works. But a pit stop is being made for Alexander Rossi as he puts on the fresh set of tyres and fuel. Who else is coming into the pits? That's an SIC. And who is that SIC? Well, it wouldn't really matter, really, because both of them are out of the race. Chilton in the pits. There's a water leak for Joseph Newgarden, but he was out anyway, so pretty much pulling off as he should have done in race number 1, as Joseph Newgarden suffers from a water leak. As we've got some pit action. I think somebody's into the pits. One of the leading runners, I think, that was in the pits. It was Simon Pagenaud. Pagenaud, he's into the pits. It's getting quite chaotic in the pit lane now then. Neves is now coming into the pits himself. So Neves is making a pit stop. Scott Dixon is into the pits for Eldorado. So a few guys coming in this time by Marco Andretti into the pits for adrenaline, and they're all getting fueled now to the end of the race. And there goes Newgarden pulling off. He retired in race 1 anyway, so he's just pretty much rewriting. He's pretty much repeating the script really. As that's pretty much that really. Pagenaud finishes off his stop. He will be a lap down, but of course, let's not forget it is an oval, and when you do make a pit stop, you will be a lap down, but you will be back on the lead lap. Hopefully, as soon as you go back, as soon as everybody makes a pit stop. There's a bit of a battle going on. We got a yellow flag again. I think we've got another yellow. This time by, unless that's just because of Newgarden's car being craned over there. So, yeah, that's that really. And in fact, it says we're down to 20 runners. In fact, what's happened was that, hang on, was that damage from Fittipaldi I just saw on the bottom right of his screen? And whereabouts is he on the track? He was in the pits. Did I see damage from Fittipaldi as I'm trying to get to him, or was that a scheduled stop? I'm not 100% sure. I thought I saw something on the bottom right of his cockpit, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have a look. And no, it wasn't. Was there another one that had damage on the front? Let's have a look and see. It doesn't look like it, so I don't know why we're down to 20 runners at the moment. Was somebody else retired? Oh yeah, Power retired. I'm being thick. So there we have it then. So these pit stops are getting out of the way. Hinchcliffe will soon make a pit stop in a little bit. I'm starting to lose my voice over this commentary today. I need to save it for the team news for GP4OC later on. If Yuri decides to do it today, or send it to me tomorrow, because of course there's no GP2 for that series. And Alonso is into the pits for E-Power. And has he actually finished off his pits? So in fact, as Bourdais, who was retired anyway, not really relevant, into the pits. And Alonso has actually finished his pit stop at this stage of the race, as we've got quite a group of cars in there, which involves Simon Pagenaud as well. And of course Robert Wickens. So Robert Wickens in that group as well. Pagenaud trying to find a way through on these guys as well, as is Helio Castroneves is all over the back of Pagenaud. At the moment, there's a few more cars go into the pits, and all these cars, well, apart from Ray Hall, most of the cars in the pits are pretty much irrelevant at the moment. Chavez is still in the race. He's up to second place. I think he's still yet to make a stop. In fact, he's pitting at the end of this lap. What about Hinchcliffe, the current race leader? Is he in? In fact, he's in the pits. And in fact, Hinchcliffe's been held up in the pits by his own teammate. So this is a disaster for Martini. They've actually double stacked Ray Hall in front of the race leader. Have they thrown the victory down the toilet for Martini? As Hinchcliffe has been held up by his own teammate in the pits. And that could be the race cost. The victory might have gone down the toilet for James Hinchcliffe, as the pair of them double stack, as Gavi Chavez now goes in. So it should give Pietro Fittipaldi the lead again. So Fittipaldi should find himself back in front of James Hinchcliffe, and that was very costly for the Canadian. And well, it should bring Fittipaldi now then back in the lead of the race. As a result, he's already made a pit stop, and we're still out in front of Pagenaud and Castroneves. As let's see now then. So Hinchcliffe finishes stop, and through goes Fittipaldi. Where is Hildebrand? Is he starting to make a stop? I'm not 100% sure. I think in fact he has made a stop, so I think he might have jumped Pagenaud and Castroneves in the pits, as Castroneves on Team Bonnet-Cameras has got past Pagenaud, so he's got up to a potential podium, I would think. As Hinchcliffe, as a result of being held up, he's rejoined in 4th place. So a disaster for James Hinchcliffe. Alonso has gained a lot in the pits. He's up into 5th place as a result. So clearly taking advantage of the red flag, getting up into 5th place. Graham Rahal finishes off his stop. He rejoins in in 8th place behind Helio Cascianero, so he's also got the jump on Pagano, as is Andretti as well. He's also made a pit stop. So Pagano has lost a lot of places in the pits, it must be said, as now Rahal looks to the inside of Helio Cascianero. Can he get the move done on the Brazilian now then, as Wickens is now into the pits for his scheduled stop through the left-hander, and Rahal takes 7th with Easel, does he? Yes, he does. Up into 7th goes Graham Rahal there, getting the move done on Helio Castroneves. So that's that for him really, as now they're just going around this bank as Wickens finishes off his pit stop, and as Gabby Chavez I think has just come into the pits there then. So that's that for him really. Wickens now then in the pits as he finishes off his pit stop now then. And where is he going to rejoin? As Ryan Hunter-Reay tries to find a way through on Felix Rosenquist as these two fight it out for 10th, but Hunter-Reay retired earlier, so he's pretty irrelevant, so Rosenquist doesn't need to worry too much about him, but he's clearly lost out from this red flag, it must be said, as Pagano struggling to find a way through on Andretti, as Cascianero has got back ahead of Rahal unseen by the cameras, so Cascianero gets back up into 6th place in this race, as meantime Bourdais is pretty irrelevant. He's up into 3rd place, but I would think that he won't stay there, of course. Bourdais, even if he wins the race, he won't be classified as the winner, as Bourdais now then looks to the inside of JR Hildebrand, and that is P2 for him, but he won't count because he retired earlier on in the race now then. As Fittipaldi is now the new race leader. Even if Bourdais passes it, Fittipaldi will still be classified as the race leader, of course, as Fittipaldi now then makes his way around the left-hander on the track, as now in towards the next left-hander they will soon go. Through this left-hander we go, as now in towards the next banking will go Pietro Fittipaldi, as now he continues to lead the way at this stage. Hildebrand trying to get back at Bourdais if he can. So actually the leaderboard looks like this: Fittipaldi leads, Hildebrand in 2nd, Hinchcliffe 3rd, Alonso in 4th, Cascianero's 5th, Rahal 6th, Andretti 7th, Pagano in 8th, and then it is Dixon 9th, Sato 10th, Rosenquist 11th, with Rossi in 12th, Chavez 13th, Wickens not 14th I don't think. I think 14th, who is in 14th position, as a pass has been made there. Andretti has passed Rahal, so up into 6th place, not 7th, 6th place for Marco Andretti. Rahal trying to get back underneath him, but Andretti shutting the door there as Pagano tries to follow through himself to try and get up a few places. And in fact, that's pretty much that then really as far as they are concerned. So Fittipaldi is leading, Bourdais is gaining, but of course he retired in the first race, so he will not classify, I'm afraid. And so Fittipaldi will still lead even if Bourdais overtakes him. So the real battle is between Fittipaldi and Hildebrand for the lead, as now we go through into the left-hander now on the track. And so now around this left-hander goes Sebastian Bourdais as he makes his way down this straight. And can he try and get hold of Chavez in front of him at this stage as he now make the way around the first bank? So not Chavez, Fittipaldi. And so now they just go around these section of corners. Here's Fittipaldi now then, still leading the way at this stage as he looks for his first ever IFMC IndyCar win. As now he goes up towards the second bank in. Bourdais down the inside of Fittipaldi, and he gets the lead, but it won't count. Fittipaldi is still the race leader because, of course, let's not forget as well, Bourdais retired from the first race, so he will not count. So now we've got a real fight for the lead between Hildebrand and Fittipaldi. Now these two are fighting it out for the lead of the race round this banking. We will now go on the track as these two continue to scrap it out for the lead, as now Hildebrand has a go down in towards his left-hander, but Fittipaldi covers him off as Hildebrand trying to stay with him at the moment. Fittipaldi just able to fend him off at this stage in towards the next left-hander. We will now go on the track now. They're to just make their way swooping around this final banking, heading down the straight now. Then we will go as Fittipaldi now then starts lap 34 of well, not 34 of this race, of course, but adding that of course, to 107. We now are on. We are now on lap 141 of 250. So we now have specifically 110 laps remaining of this race now. Then, as Hildebrand still trying to find a way through on Pietro Fittipaldi for the lead of the race as they go down the straight now. Then on the track, Hildebrand trying to find a way through, but he looks like he's just continuing to lose time. Fittipaldi was able to have enough of a gap to not even feel the need to defend into this first bank. Now they're on the track as they just go out of that corner. Hinchcliffe currently third, Alonso in fourth place, Castroneves fifth, Andretti up into sixth, Ray Hall seventh, Pagano in eighth, Dixon ninth, with Sato in 10th, Chavez 11th, Rosenquist 12th, and then it is Rossi in 13th position. Followed by Wickens in 14th. So that's how it looks at this stage. Again, Hildebrand not close enough to get hold of Fittipaldi into this first banking now then on the track. And but having saying that, of course, Fittipaldi went a tad bit defensive into there now then. So now through the left-hander now, then we will go on the track as they will now approach this next banking in a little bit. As you can see now, then Hildebrand has a look down the inside of Fittipaldi. Can he grab the lead? No, he can't. Hildebrand having to stay behind for the moment now. Then as they come down the pit straight now, then on the track, and now will Hildebrand find a way through into the first banking again. Fittipaldi fends him off into there for the moment as he just come off of that banking now, then trying to get as close to the wall as possible now. Then he tries to have a go into this little left-hander, but Fittipaldi covers him off and holds on to the lead for the moment. So doing a good job defensively to keep him back at the moment. If they're not careful, Hinchcliffe is going to start closing onto the back of these guys. So Hinchcliffe could find himself back in this battle for the lead of the race after being held up by his teammate in the pits. So that wasn't really good on Martini's part, that's for sure. As now they go down towards the first banking again on the track. Fittipaldi around the left-hander he goes now. They're trying to get up close to the wall as best as possible now then on the track. Around this left-hander he goes. And now approaching the next left-hander he'll soon go on the racetrack. And so at the moment now then Fittipaldi still leading the way at the moment from Hildebrand in second place. Hinchcliffe's closing up in third place. At this stage, as Pagano having to fend off a little bit now then from Scott Dixon. Dixon trying to find a way through on the Frenchman at this stage as they now make their way round that left-hander on the track. As here is Alonso currently in fourth, looking to try and pick up some good points if he can in the E-Power car. He's definitely taking advantage of the red flag, that is for sure. And now Hildebrand right in the slipstream of Fittipaldi. Hildebrand also looking for his first ever IFMC IndyCar win. Now through the left-hander we go. Now they're heading down the pit straight. Can Hildebrand try and find a way through as they'll approach the first banking in a little bit? He wasn't able to get alongside, and it looks like Fittipaldi will keep hold of it into the first banking, which he does. So Fittipaldi holding on to the lead for the time being now, then trying to get up close to the wall as best as possible now then on the track. Around we go, sweeping around these section of corners now then. And so through this next left-hander we will soon go on the track. Through we go into the left-hander as they will go down this pit straight. And so now approaching the next left-hander we will soon go. And as you can see, Hildebrand still struggling to find a way through on Fittipaldi at this stage as they get up close to the wall again. It looks like Hildebrand maybe starting to, well, he's in the slipstream, but he's just not really taking his advantage. He's not really taking an advantage. Can he maybe now though try and get him into the last banking now? Then he's in the slipstream of Fittipaldi. He's trying to have a look to the inside. Can he get the place? No, not quite. Fittipaldi able to hang it around the outside and hold on to the lead. Hildebrand had to back out of that one that time, Prix, and it allows Hinchcliffe just to get a tad bit closer to these guys. As a result, as they will now make their way into the first banking on the track. Around this left-hander we go, and so now just trying to get up close to the wall on the outside. As now around this left-hander we go, and so now approaching the next left-hander we will soon go on the racetrack. Into this left-hander we go, So now look how close Hildebrand is. This is surely his best opportunity to get Fittipaldi this time by. He's in the slipstream. He's going to look to the inside. Will Hildebrand get the lead off Fittipaldi? And it doesn't look like he's close enough. So he's just going to hold on for the moment. Fittipaldi holding on to the lead at this stage and able to hang around the outside to keep all the lead from JR Hildebrand. And look how close Hinchcliffe is now getting in the background to these two, as these two continue to scrap it out for the lead of the race. Now then, round this left-hander we will now go. So around that left-hander we go, heading down the pit straight now then on the track, as he now looks to the inside. Will Hildebrand try and pull the move off this time? He's a little bit more alongside Fittipaldi than he was before. Is this going to be a lead change from JR Hildebrand? And yes, it is. Into the lead goes JR Hildebrand here at ISM Raceway. The Silicon Valley racing car of JR Hildebrand now leads the race, but Fittipaldi still sticking with him. Fittipaldi has not given up on him just yet, so these two could still continue to battle it out for a little bit as they now make their way around this left-hander. Fittipaldi back on the prowl of Hildebrand. Can he possibly try and retake the lead from the Silicon Valley racing car? He's in the slipstream. On the inside goes Fittipaldi. Can he try and retake the lead from JR Hildebrand? It doesn't look like he's close enough to get a little bit alongside. Hildebrand shuts the door and he holds on to the lead with ease there. And Hildebrand defending the place as a result. So I think now go around this left-hander on the track now then before approaching the next corner. And Fittipaldi trying to see if he can find some weak points to try and get back at Hildebrand. But it looks like Hildebrand's starting now to stretch his advantage a little bit out in front, trying to get up close to the wall as best as possible, as Fittipaldi is in the slipstream again, but he won't be close enough to pull an overtake on this lap, that's for sure. And Hinchcliffe now then getting closer and closer to the back of these guys now then, as you can see there, Fittipaldi getting up close to the wall. Through the left-hander he goes, and now in towards this next left-hander we will soon go on the track. And so now around this left-hander we go on the racetrack. Now they're heading down the straight before approaching the first turn on the racetrack. And will Fittipaldi find a way through at the moment now then into the first left-hander on the track? And as you can see, Fittipaldi now starting to lose a tad bit of time now then to JR Hildebrand, as now Hinchcliffe starts to reel him in. Cashno is trying to close up onto the back of Alonso for 4th place if he can. Rahal and Andretti looking to fight it out for, I think this is 7th place. I could be wrong on that, but that's that for him really. And in fact it's the battle for 6th place between the pair of them at the moment. There's a couple of guys in front retired from the first race. Around this left-hander we will go now then, as Rahal tries to pile the pressure again on the back of Marco Andretti. Dixon is also starting to close up on this scrap, as meantime Sato and Pagano had an awful second race now, and as he's now under threat from the man who took pole, Takuma Sato. Sato trying to look to the inside of Simon Pagano. Can he get him into the first bank now then? And no, he can't. Pagano able to fend him off that time by, so he tries to get up close to the wall. Gabby Chavez is now trying to get himself close to this scrap as well. Around the left-hander we go now, they're heading in towards the next left-hander. And so now, just going around the section of corners we will now go. And as they'll soon come down the straight now then, as Sato tries to get up on the back of Simon Pagano if he can, as the pair then fight for 12th. Pagano goes defensive, but he's not close enough, so Pagano's going to hold on for the moment. Meantime, the battle for second, though, we look at the battle for second between Fittipaldi and Hinchcliffe as they go down the pit straight now. They're on the track, as they have now started trying to plus 50 onto 107. We're now on lap 157 of 250 now then, so specifically we now have 94 laps remaining here at the ISM Raceway, as now we will approach the left-hander on the track. So now just going around the section of corners, and just trying to work it out in my head. I'm pretty sure once we get to lap number 93 of this race, we would have reached the 200 lap mark. It's now Hinchcliffe down the inside of Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi trying to shut the door, and rightfully so, Fittipaldi holds on to second for the moment in this race, and Hinchcliffe still trying to put some pressure on him at this stage of the race. Now then, Hinchcliffe trying again, looking to the inside to this little left-hander, isn't quite able to make it work out and has to tuck behind him at this stage. And now in towards the left-hander we will go on the track. Round we go then, round this left-hander as they now come down the straight. Can Hinchcliffe find a way through on Gabby Chavez? Sorry, from Pietro Fittipaldi. I still need to stop getting the Macamo cars mixed up. Down the inside goes Hinchcliffe. Can he get Fittipaldi this time? No. Again, Fittipaldi holds on to second place. And all of this is allowing Hildebrand to just stretch his lead a little bit more in this race, as they now make their way around the left-hander. Now then, will Hinchcliffe find a way through into this little left-hander? Now then, this banking on the track. He tried to have a go, but Fittipaldi covers him off and holds on to second place yet again in this race. Now then, as they go down the straight, Hinchcliffe now then, can he get him down to the first banking again? And it doesn't look like he's close enough. Fittipaldi's just going to hold off down this pit straight this time by. He's left the inside way open though. That could give Hinchcliffe the advantage he needs, and he tucks right onto the back of him at the moment into this left-hander, tucking back into Fittipaldi's slipstream, maybe into the last banking. We could see Hinchcliffe pull a move on Pietro Fittipaldi. Now then, into this next left-hander will soon go, but he's not close enough, and Fittipaldi holds on to the position for the time being. Heading down the pit straight now, they're heading towards turn one. He's going to look to the inside. Will Hinchcliffe get the move done on Pietro Fittipaldi now then as he make the way into the turn one? Can he get second place? And yes, he can. Up into second place goes James Hinchcliffe. He passes Pietro Fittipaldi, and that's P2 for the Mayor of Hinchtown. Now, next target for him is race leader J.R. Hildebrand, but Fittipaldi is still sticking with him. Could Fittipaldi retake the place into the final banking? He's going to look to the inside. Is Fittipaldi going to retake the place? He tried to have a go, but Hinchcliffe shut the door, and Hinchcliffe holds on to second place as a result. So that's that for him really, as we're 8 minutes away from the 5 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. As now we will make the way into the first banking. Hinchcliffe still going a bit defensive. You can still feel a little bit of pressure from Fittipaldi, but he's still in front for the moment, as Hunter Ray has passed Castaneras, but Hunter Ray doesn't count in this race, of course, because he did retire in race one. Same with Canaan trying to get hold of Castaneras himself. Meantime, we've got a battle between Zandretti is broken away now from Dixon. Dixon and Ray Hall are fighting it out at the moment. Ray Hall trying to get onto the back of Dixon in this race now then, as they make the way around the left-hander on the track, and now in towards this next left-hander they will soon go. And so that's pretty much that for them. Really now then, as Ray Hall tries to get hold of him at this stage, trying to get up close to the wall. And will Ray Hall try and get Dixon? He's not close enough down that straight, so he's going to have to hang back for the moment. As Pagano has lost a place to Chavez, so he's already lost a place to Sato, so he's way down. Pagano really struggling in this second half of the race now. Then as Hildebrand is getting caught up in traffic, this could definitely help Hinchcliffe, but he's still got Fittipaldi behind him, so essentially Hinchcliffe still dragging Fittipaldi along for the ride, and he still went a tad bit defensive there, as you can see, into that first bank. So Fittipaldi is still not giving up in this race, it must be said. And now into this next left-hander we will soon go, and so now approaching the next left-hander on the track we will soon go. And so now around this left-hander we will now go on the track. So he comes down the straight now then towards the first banking on the track, and Fittipaldi not close enough that time by, and might be starting to lose a little bit of time now to Hinchcliffe as a result. And so that's pretty much that then really, as far as they are concerned. We're on lap 100. We'll soon be starting lap 166 of 250 here at the ISM Raceway. And so not that long to go now then in this race, as we now have specifically as they just go down towards turn one. The gap between Hinchcliffe and Fittipaldi we'll just keep an eye on anyway, just going around the first banking, the gap being 0.9 seconds, so it's still under a second between him at the moment. And Hildebrand, well, that wasn't Hildebrand. Hildebrand is past this lot. Hinchcliffe now coming up, but Hinchcliffe is definitely gaining because he's only just right in front of them two cars that they're trying to lap at this stage. So Hinchcliffe not that far away from Hildebrand to try and get hold of him for the lead of the race now then. So now they come up now then towards the first banking on the track. As Fittipaldi loses more time to James Hinchcliffe at this stage, and Cashano is continuing to lose time to Fernando Alonso in this race, as Alonso currently occupying 4th place here at ISM Raceway. He's trying to pick up as much points as he can for EPAR. EPAR still yet to get both cars to the finish, of course, although you can see Hunter Ray. Of course, we did have a restart, and Hunter Ray retired from the first part of the race before the game crashed, so Hunter Ray will not be classified as a result. So now heading down the straight we go, now heading towards the first bank, as now through this left-hander we now go on the racetrack, and he's just going out of that corner on the track now. Then is meantime Fittipaldi and Hinchcliffe having a little bit of bother trying to lap the traffic at the moment, which includes Alexander Rossi, who's down at the back of the pack. So Rossi definitely struggling, must be said, and really not been having the pace that he had back at Barber Motorsports Park where he won that race, and just slipping more points in this Drivers' Championship, it must be said, as he goes around the first banking. So Fittipaldi will now try and find a way to lap him at the moment now then. So now around that left-hander we will now go on the track, as they will now approach this next banking. We're 3 minutes away now then from the 5 o'clock mark, so we're getting quite close to that point. Around this left-hander there then goes Alexander Rossi. He'll soon have to let Fittipaldi go as he's trying to lap him at this stage, as Hildebrand is having a bit of trouble at the moment, as Jones, who retired from race 1, is trying to unlap himself, it must be said, but Hildebrand saying no to that and able to hang it around the outside. Hinchcliffe takes a bizarre wide line into that first bank there, so a very bizarre line there for James Hinchcliffe, clearly getting good enough drive out of that corner, as Montoya tried to unlap himself but failed there, and he will not be classified because he retired in race 1 as well, as these guys try to lap himself. And now look how close Hinchcliffe is now to the back of Hildebrand. These two are now about to scrap it out for the lead of the race here at ISM Raceway. In towards the first banking we will now go on the track. Up towards this first banking we go, around this left-hander. Hinchcliffe putting the pressure now then on JR Hildebrand in front, as they try and get up close to the wall on the right hand side there. On this little left we will now go, and now approaching the next banking we will go before we start another lap. Round the left-hander we go, and can Hinchcliffe try and find a way through on Pagano, on Hildebrand this time by? Well, he can't because he's not close enough, but let's see the gap. It was 0.8 last time by. What is it now on this lap in towards the left-hander? We will now go, and the gap being 0.7 seconds. So that's how that looks at this stage now then, as they now make their way around the left-hander now then approaching the next banking, as Fittipaldi puts a lap on the retired Ed Jones himself, as he continues to lose time to the back of the Canadian of James Hinchcliffe, as Hinchcliffe looks for a second successive win, which will really help him out in the Drivers' Championship, that's for sure. Heading down the pit straight now then, can Hinchcliffe get a hold of Hildebrand? Again, not close enough, but maybe in the next couple of laps he'll start challenging Hildebrand for that lead, as he just goes around that first banking now then on the track. Into the next little left-hander he'll go, and now up towards the next banking on the track goes James Hinchcliffe, as he tries to find a way through then on JR Hildebrand. Around the left-hander he goes, and let's see the gap this time by, as he tries to get up close to the wall. 0.6 seconds it was last lap. Has that been cut down at all within the last lap now then through this left-hander? Let's have a look, and no, in fact it stayed the same, so both are lapping around about the same pace as each other at this point, as the gap has remained to 0.6 seconds. So that's that really. Hinchcliffe still trying to tag along to Hildebrand Slipstream if he can, but so far not being able to try and produce an overtake on the Silicon Valley Racing car at this stage of the race now then, as Hinchcliffe tries to get up close to the wall. So now heading down the pit straight now then before approaching the next left-hander. So through this left-hander we will now go, as Hinchcliffe now then will try and find a way through on Hildebrand for the effective lead of the race. Of course, Bourdais does not count, even though he is leading the race. He retired in race 1, so he will not be classified, I'm afraid. So this is the real battle for the lead for anybody who is joining us now then through this left-hander, as they will now come down the pit straight. And again, Hinchcliffe is not close enough, as Fittipaldi looks like he might be wanting to start to gain on these guys again and try and get himself back into the contention for the victory here at Phoenix. So that's that really, as looked like Hildebrand had a very wide line down. I'm not sure if it was because of the traffic in front there, as Wickens and Rosenquist fight it out in front. This is definitely helping Hinchcliffe now then. Hildebrand putting a lap on Rosenquist, and will Hinchcliffe try and find a way through on the inside into the final banking? He doesn't, and Hildebrand able to stay in front at this stage now then, as they just come out of the final turn now then. We ride aboard with James Hinchcliffe, as Hildebrand is keeping in front because he's in the slipstream of Wickens, and he'll now put a lap on the adrenaline car now then, which he does, as Hinchcliffe will try and find a way through on his fellow compatriot himself in a little bit. So Hildebrand has now put a car between himself and James Hinchcliffe now then. Hinchcliffe trying to lap himself at the expense of Robert Wickens, which he does, easy goings, and now he can focus his sights again on JR Hildebrand in front around this next left-hander. We will now go on the track as they go around this left-hander, and they'll soon go down the pit straight now then, as he'll go into the slipstream. He'll look to the inside. Can he get the move done? Down the inside he goes. Is Hinchcliffe going to grab the lead from JR Hildebrand now then? Down the inside into the first banking, and he does. James Hinchcliffe retakes the lead here at ISM Raceway. Hinchcliffe, after losing out in the pits, now leads here at ISM Raceway, and now he's trying to look for his second consecutive victory here this season as well. But Hildebrand has not given up on him. Hildebrand trying to get back on him now. They're down the inside into the second. Banking is alongside. Can he get the move done? No. Hinchcliffe shuts the door and holds on to the lead and has a lot more speed coming out of that banking that time by. And so he will now start the next lap of the race. I'm trying to add that to 72 on 108. So we are now, sorry, on 107. So we are now on. Let's have a look. We are now on. Trying to think. We are now on. Sorry, it's been quite a crazy race. We're now on lap 189 of 250. Here at the ISM Raceway now then, and we now have specifically, well, we now start the next lap, in fact, lap 190 of the race. 190 we're now on, and we are 10 laps away from the, I think 10 laps away, I could be wrong on that. In fact, I'm wrong on that. We're actually on lap 180 of the race. We're on lap 180 of the race, and we have specifically 61 laps remaining here at ISM Raceway. So as Hinchcliffe has still got Hildebrand still breathing down his neck at the moment. Hildebrand has not really given up at this stage. Can Hildebrand try and retake the lead from James Hinchcliffe? He's going to look to the inside down the pit straight. He'll have to get back in the slipstream because Hinchcliffe still has the edge down the straight. Even if Hildebrand tries to outbrake him, Hinchcliffe shuts the door through the first corner and holds on to the lead for the moment. This brings Fittipaldi a little bit closer again to the scrap for the lead. So Fittipaldi has now brought himself back into this battle for the lead, despite the fact that he's got Wickens trying to unlap himself at the moment, as Rosenquist is now trying to lap Wickens himself. So Wickens is actually at the back of the pack at this stage now, so he's currently in 14th place here, because you have to take into consideration the retirements from race 1, as now Hildebrand has lost time a bit now then to Hinchcliffe as they go down the straight now. Then Fittipaldi again close to this scrap as they make their way around this first banking. We ride on board with the Silicon Valley Racing car of JR Hildebrand as he tries to get back in the slipstream now then of the Martini. And now approaching the next left-hander. We will soon go, as we've just passed the 5 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. Around this left-hander we go, as they'll soon come down the pit straight as he tries to get within the slipstream now then of the Canadian, as it doesn't look like that time around again. He's close enough to get back on the prow of Mr. Hinchcliffe in front. And now through the left-hander we go, as he tried to get up close to the wall but isn't able to do so at this stage. And I just want to point a note out, if Bourdais gets to the point, if it gets to the point where Bourdais is actually lapping the whole pack, I can't really do anything about the laps, guys. So it will end when it ends, really, in terms of laps. So just bear in mind of that in case it gets to that eventuality, which it shouldn't do, but you never know, of course. As back to the lead then between Hinchcliffe and Hildebrand. Hildebrand still with Hinchcliffe. Hinchcliffe has struggled to shake him off in this instance. Fittipaldi has dropped back a little bit more again from that, as Wickens is still trying to unlap himself at the expense of the young Brazilian. As now round that left-hander we go now, then Hildebrand still putting pressure on Hinchcliffe, as Hildebrand still trying to look for his first ever IFMC IndyCar win. Now through the left-hander we go, heading down the pit straight on the track we go. Can Hildebrand get him down the pit straight? It doesn't look like he's close enough, as Wickens now then looks like he's now going to unlap himself at the expense of Pietro Fittipaldi. And well, nearly close to contact there between the pair of them, and well, Fittipaldi had to lift off the brakes there, and now he's having some complications being done here with Wickens, and this is costing him time to the top two, as Wickens has now unlapped himself, and Fittipaldi will be very angry with that, as he's now lost time to Hinchcliffe and Hildebrand in that scrap for the lead. As now you'll have to hope for some luck to get back up to them in these remaining laps. And now up towards the first banking we go. Hildebrand getting close, but again still not within the slipstream to try and produce another overtake on James Hinchcliffe at this stage of the race, as they just come out of the first banking there then on the track. And so Hildebrand still really giving James Hinchcliffe a hard time at the moment, still giving him a run for his money at the moment in this race. Through the left-hander we go on the track. Through we go then. And Hildebrand, can he get in the slipstream of Hinchcliffe? He's getting closer and closer, but again he's not going to be close enough to get him into the first bank. So again he's going to have to hang back for the moment as they continue to scrap it out for the lead of the race here at the ISM Raceway here at Avondale, Arizona. So now around this little left-hander we will now go up towards the final banking on the track now then. Around the left-hander we go. Can Hildebrand get up to Hinchcliffe this time by, as they try and get up close to the wall. And so that's that really as far as they are concerned. He's getting closer and closer every lap. I can see that the gaps between them are getting smaller and smaller, but still Hildebrand is not within that slipstream to get back at Hinchcliffe for the lead of the race. As we will soon be starting in a little bit. As we have a look, we will soon be starting lap number 189 of 250 at the moment. So we're getting close to lap 189. The race is about to start lap 189 now then, so we're getting close to the closing stages of the race here at ISM Raceway. It's taken longer than anticipated because of the game crashing, but we are about to get there in the end. Thank you for people who have been patient to stick around. I do appreciate that. As now through this little left-hander we now go on the track. Hildebrand still unable to find a way through on Hinchcliffe, as these two continue to scrap it out for the lead of the race now then. Round this left-hander on the track now, they're heading down the pit straight. Can Hildebrand find a way through on James Hinchcliffe now then, as they will go up now then towards the first banking again on the track. Around the left-hander we go. And so now Hildebrand looked like he had a little bit more traction there coming out of the first banking than what Hinchcliffe had. Now he's right in the slipstream again of James Hinchcliffe, so now the battle is again resumed, as now they come up now then towards the final banking. Hildebrand has a good opportunity to retake the lead from James Hinchcliffe now then. Round this left-hander we go. Will Hildebrand retake the lead from James Hinchcliffe as they come down the straight now, and he looks to the inside? Can he get the move done? He's going to go down the inside of James Hinchcliffe now then into turn 1. Can he retake the lead from Hinchcliffe? Hinchcliffe trying to hang it around the outside. Hildebrand on the inside, and he just has the edge. JR Hildebrand retakes the lead here at ISM Raceway. He retakes the lead away from James Hinchcliffe. Will Hinchcliffe try and get him back now then? Just going out of that left-hander up towards the second banking. On the track now then, he's going to have a look to the inside into the second banking. There was a gap there, but Hildebrand hanging it around the outside, and he's able to hold on to the lead again in this race as they go down the pit straight. And Hunter Ray's up to 4th, and well, that doesn't count really. He's up to 4th, Canard's up to 5th, but it's still Fittipaldi in 4th because those two are still retired from the first race, so they will not count, of course. They're even closing up to this battle for the lead at the moment, as Hinchcliffe now maybe starting to lose a little bit of time now then to JR Hildebrand, as now they make their way around the left-hander on the track. Around we go now, then heading down the pit straight, and Hinchcliffe maybe starting to lose the time. He's trying to still try and tug into JR Hildebrand's slipstream, but so far nothing appears to work at this stage now then as they go around this left-handed banking. On the track now then, and that's pretty much that then really as far as they are concerned. Around the left-hander we go, and now they'll soon approach the next left-hander with ease, and that's pretty much that then really as far as they are concerned. And so now approaching the next section of corners on the track now then, as they will soon approach the next left-handers. Through the left-hander we go, then goes James Hinchcliffe now then, as he still is within touching distance of JR Hildebrand, but it looks like Hildebrand is now starting to stretch his advantage again. So that's that really, as meantime Alonso still with a bit to go to try and close up onto Fittipaldi for 3rd place in order to try and get E-Power's first ever podium. So that's that really as far as they are concerned now then, as we go through the first banking again, and we are now on or what lap are we on now then? That's what I'm trying to figure out myself. We are now on, I think we're on lap 100, and we're now on lap 185 of 100 of 250. So lap 185 of 250 now then we are on, as now we're getting close to near the end of the race now then, as Hildebrand through this first banking we go. Hinchcliffe still within touching distance at the moment. In fact, it looks like he's starting to close back onto JR Hildebrand at the moment now then, so it could look like that Hinchcliffe could find himself back in this battle for the lead, and it could be a second time that we could see a position swap for the lead of the race here at ISM Raceway. Around the final banking we will go on the track as he goes down the pit straight now. They're heading in towards turn 1 on the track, and let's see what happens then. Through the left-handed banking we will now go, the first left-handed banking, and just going around that corner now. They're heading in towards the little left-hander on the track. So through that corner we go now then, as they will now approach the final banking. Through the next left-hander we will now go. Through the left-hander we go, as Hinchcliffe now they're trying to find a way through on JR Hildebrand, and continuing to try and pile the pressure on him as best as possible now then in this race. And still Hinchcliffe not close enough to get hold to him. It looks like Hunter Ray may be able to get these guys, but he will not classify anyway because he retired from the first race. So this is still the battle for the lead between Hildebrand and Hinchcliffe at this stage. As here is Alonso still with a bit to try. Excuse me, to try and gain onto Pietro Fittipaldi. In fact, he's got more things to concern about because he's got Castroneves all over the back of him. So Castroneves and Alonso look to duke it out for 4th place in this race. Now then is Castroneves tries to get up close to the back of Alonso now then in the race, as he tries to put a lap on the retired Ed Jones. As now into the first bend we go, and he gets that move pretty much done with. As Castanera is now then trying to get a hold of the guys in front at the moment now then, as they'll go around this next left-hander. And now up towards the banking we will now go as they swoop around this left-hander on the track. And let's see the gap then between Castroneves and Alonso now then, as we have started lap number 200 of 250 now then. So we're near the end now then. We're on lap 200 of the race. So 50 laps remaining in the race to go. We've reached the 200 lap mark. It's taken a while, but we're on lap 200 now of 250. 51 laps to go here at ISM Raceway. As I think I said 0.7 the gap was between Castroneves and Alonso that time by, and they've also got Andretti as well, who's challenging them for fourth place at the moment, along with Dixon as well. So it could be a four-way scrap for four between Alonso, Castroneves, Andretti, and Dixon. But we'll wait and see on that now then, as they make their way up towards the first bank on the track now then, as Castroneves tries to put some pressure on Alonso in front of him at the moment, as he's struggling to lap some traffic at the moment, which could play into the hands of Helio Castroneves. At this stage now then, through this left-hander we go. And in the meantime, let's see what's going on between Hinchcliffe and Hildebrand. Well, as you can see there, Hunter-Reay has passed Hinchcliffe, but it looks like Hinchcliffe is actually going to try and find a way back past him into the first banking there then, but Hunter-Reay saying no to that. So maybe he could use Hunter-Reay to his advantage, as he's now lost time to Hildebrand, but he could still use these guys to his advantage to try and close in on JR Hildebrand for the lead of the race. So that's pretty much that then, really, as far as they are concerned, to just go around that banking now then on the track. So yeah, that's that really. Fittipaldi currently still in third place at the moment. There is now some traffic in between Alonso and Castroneves, and I don't know if that piece of traffic is actually trying to unlap itself. So that's that really, as Montoya obviously retired. He will not be classified, as Castroneves now tries to put a lap on him yet again in this race, as they will come up now then towards the first banking on the track. Around the left-hander we will go, and now just coming off the turn, as Castroneves trying to get hold of the guy in front of him, which is Fernando Alonso for fourth place, as he now tries to focus his sights on Alonso in front as they fight it out for fourth, trying to tag along within the slipstream of the three-time IFMC champion. The gap between them, let's have a look. It was half a second last time by. Let's see it this time round. So now we will approach the first banking on the track. 0.7 seconds. So Alonso, due to the traffic, has gained a tenth on Castroneves, so only increasing the gap by a tenth there to get it up to 0.7 seconds at the moment in this race. Castroneves getting up as close to the wall as possible now then, as he makes his way around the second banking on the track. And let's see then what the gap will be next time around, as they just come off the turn now. Then the gap between them is now, let's have a look, as they now approach the first turn on the track. We have 46 laps remaining here at ISM Raceway. It's still 0.7, so both Alonso and Castroneves lapping around about the same pace as each other, as Andretti is that in fact all over the backside of Helio, so as is Dixon, so it could be a factor. There's Bourdais, but although it says he's the leader, he won't be the winner, because he of course didn't finish in race one, so he will not be classified. That's why Hildebrand is currently the race leader at this stage. Speaking of which, here he is at the moment, as Kanaan has got a bye on Hinchcliffe, but Hinchcliffe I don't think will really care, because Kanaan didn't finish in the first race either, so he's still in second place at the moment, and still quite a long way away ahead of Pietro Fittipaldi at the moment. Through the banking we will now go on the track, as Hildebrand is about to start lap number, I'm trying to think actually, lap number 106 I think, or 107. It's 107, lap 207 of 250 here at ISM Raceway, I think. So we now have specifically 44 laps remaining here at ISM Raceway. 44 laps to go. We're into the closing stages of the first oval race of the season. And next week, of course, we're at another oval track, this time the Texas Motor Speedway, where the teams and drivers had their pre-season oval test there earlier in the season, and they're going back there for the 4th round of the championship, the second oval race of the season. As now, I do apologise there, it looked like I had some loose gas in the system. As now, Hildebrand still leading the way. He may get overtaken by Hunter Ray, but I don't think he will care anyway because he's not going to get classified anyway. Hildebrand still the effective race leader here at ISM. In fact, Hinchcliffe actually got back by on Tony Kanaan. I don't know if Tony Kanaan was actually slow around on the corners, but that's that really, as Kanaan tries to find a way back through. But again, he will not count because he retired in the first race, and even Hinchcliffe even defends hard on Kanaan there. And but if he continues to do that, it will just allow Fittipaldi to close up on him and try and retake second from him in the race, as Castaneras is still stuck behind Fernando Alonso at the moment through the first banking. We will now go on the track as he gets close to the first turn there on the track, as they will now approach the second banking now then. So around this second banking we will now go on the racetrack now then. Around the left hand we go, as they will now come down the pit straight, and let's see the gap then between 4th place man Alonso and 5th place man Helio Castroneves into the first banking. Will now go. There's a car that's pulled inside the track. It's Andretti. Marco Andretti is out of the race, and he did finish race 1, so he is a classified retirement. So out of the race goes Marco Andretti, and we are down to 13 classified runners in this race now then. So Andretti is done. And what a shame, after scoring the team's first ever podium in IFMC IndyCar. It's now back down to earth for Marco Andretti, as he's now out of the race. And as mentioned, we're now down to 13 runners here at ISM. And he just gets hoisted over onto the other side of the barrier. His race is now over. As meantime, Rosenquist trying to unlap himself at the expense of Scott Dixon. But Dixon not really letting him go at the moment. Around the left-hander there then goes Helio Castroneves, as he tries to find a way through on him at the moment, on Fernando Alonso, as they battle for 4th place around the left-hander. And let's see the gap this time by, as they just go down the pit straight. It was half a second last time by. Let's see if that's going to be the same this time by, as they go into the first banking on the track. Round the left-hander we go, and the gap between Alonso and Castroneves is now still half a second. So both Alonso and Castroneves are lapping around about the same sort of lap times as each other at the moment. As Fittipaldi now then just going around the left-handed bank, and that's that then. And as they just go out of the turn now, they're heading down the straight, as Fittipaldi still currently in 3rd place at this stage of the race. If you've only just joined us, of course, we did have a red flag during the race because for some reason my game crashed when Ray Hall hit the side of Hunter Ray. There's 13 classified runners. Although the retirements from the first race are in it, they will not be classified. So even though Sebastian Bourdais is leading the race, he will not be classified because he did retire in race 1. The guy getting no luck whatsoever this season. So officially leading the race is J.R. Hildebrand in the Silicon Valley racing car, from James Hinchcliffe in 2nd, and in 3rd is Pietro Fittipaldi. Well, I say that, it looks like Alonso and Castroneves are starting to gain on him now then, along with Dixon as well. So there could be a change on the podium, because Fittipaldi is starting to lose time to Alonso and Castroneves now then on the track. Sorry about that, as now we'll try and see what's going on. Hinchcliffe has actually decided to stay put in front of Kanaan, who's not going to be classified because he retired earlier on in the race. As Hildebrand has been passed by Hunter Ray, but he's still in the race nonetheless, because Hunter Ray crashed out on the first race, of course. So that's that really as far as they are concerned. And so now we look at J.R. Hildebrand, the current race leader, who has now started... let's have a look now then. He was now started, trying to work that out in my head actually, having that, so he's got to go left, as he's got a 2.2 second cushion in front of James Hinchcliffe at the moment, so quite a decent gap in front at this stage. As we now have specifically, I think we now have specifically 35 laps remaining. It'll be 34 laps remaining once Hildebrand crosses the line. So 34 laps to go for race leader J.R. Hildebrand, as he will now go around the first banking on the track. So around the first banking, he will now go, as he just goes around that first banking now then into the second left. We will go. Kanaan still trying to find a way through on Hinchcliffe, but as mentioned, it won't affect Hinchcliffe's position because Kanaan did not finish in the first race. As up into 7th goes Cachaneres, unseen by the cameras. He's passed Alonso. So up into 4th, I should say, goes Helio Cachaneres. He's passed Alonso. So P4 goes to the Brazilian now then, as Alonso down to 5th and could come under pressure from Scott Dixon in a little bit if he's not careful, as Alonso tries to unlap himself there from the retired Sebastian Bourdais. And so that's pretty much that then, really, as Alonso now then trying to get back on the prowl of Cachaneres if he can now then. And so now around this next left-hander we will soon go, as Alonso now then trying to get up close to the up to the wall at the exit of that first banking now then around the left-hander. We will now go, as Bourdais now then puts a lap on Cachaneres. That could help out Alonso in a way, try and grab 4 from him now then. Alonso back in the slipstream of Helio Cachaneres. Can he get back on the Brazilian? If he can now then, as they go down the pit straight. Dixon isn't that far behind him as well, heading down the pit straight, heading down towards the first banking. Will Alonso retake 4 from Helio Cachaneres? He's going to look to the inside. Can Alonso pull the move off into the first banking down the inside? And yes, he can. Alonso retakes 4th from Helio Cachaneres, and that's P4 once again from the 3-time IFMC champion. Alonso back up to 4th, but Cachaneres has not given up on him. He's still in the slipstream of the E-Power car now then. Can he retake 4th again from Fernando Alonso? Cachaneres on the inside. Can he get the place back? No, he can't. Alonso shuts the door and holds on to 4th. This brings Dixon now into this scrap for 4th place. Dixon now right on the back of this scrap himself, as they now come down the pit straight now then on the track now then, heading down in towards the first corner of the track now then. Around the left-hander we go, as Cachaneres still putting Alonso on a bit of pressure there. You saw Alonso defending the inside into the first banking there, as now through this left-hander we go. Can Cachaneres possibly take 4th into the final banking now then? Dixon getting close to the back of these two as well, as now down the inside goes Helio Cachaneres, unable to get the move done, and Alonso holds up to 4th again. Sorry about that. It's now Dixon trying to take advantage. Down the inside goes Dixon on Cachaneres, and he gets the place. Dixon up into 5th place. He gets the move done on Helio Cachaneres, and that's P5 for Scott Dixon in the Eldorado. And that's that for him, really, as far as he's concerned, as they go around turn 2 and then in towards the second banking on the track. And now Dixon trying to grab 4th from Fernando Alonso if he can now. Then round this left-hander we will go on the track now then, as he's got a 0.4 second gap between himself and Alonso. In fact, he's in the slipstream already. Dixon in the slipstream of Alonso. He's going to look to the inside. Is Dixon going to grab 4th from Alonso? Alonso try and shove him a little bit, but there's a gap down the inside, and Dixon takes full advantage, and up into 4th place goes the Kiwi of Scott Dixon. P4 goes Scott Dixon in the Eldorado, but Alonso and Cachaneres are still sticking with him. Alonso trying to retake the place from Dixon if he can now then. Up towards the next banking we go. Alonso has a look into the final banking he goes. Alonso down the inside, but Dixon shuts the door there then. Cachaneres trying to get hold of Alonso yet again round this left-hander to go down the pit straight. Will Cachaneres get the move done on Fernando yet again for P5, as he's right in the slipstream now then of Alonso. He's going to look to the inside. Is Cachaneres going to grab 5th place from Fernando Alonso into the first banking? Alonso tries to hang it around the outside and is able to hold on to 5th for the moment, as the pair of them start to lose time to Scott Dixon's Eldorado now then, as they will soon go around this next left-hander on the track. Approaching the next banking we now go, as now Cachaneres looks to the inside into the next corner. Can he try and get the move done? Unable to do so there. Alonso still able to fend him off at this stage of the race, as now we have, specifically trying to work it out in my head, we now have 26 laps remaining here at ISM Raceway for race leader J.R. Hildebrand, as he's still leading the way at this stage. Hinchcliffe has been passed by Tony Kanaan, but he's still in second place at the moment, as Fittipaldi is in third. So that's that for them really, as Hildebrand now then has started the next lap of the race. He now has specifically 26 laps remaining now then in this race. 26 laps to go for JR Hildebrand, as we ride on board with the Silicon Valley Racing cars. He goes around this final banking here, and so going around this that left-hander, just coming off the turn, heading back down the pit straight now then, as he starts the next lap of the race. As we are now on, trying to work it out in my head, we now have we're now on lap 226, I think. Yes, we're on lap 226 of lap 226 of 250 here at ISM Raceway, and Hildebrand still looking good for his first ever IFMC IndyCar win, as he now makes his way down the pit straight now down on the track, as he will soon approach the first banking on the track now then. Round this left-hander we will now go on the track, as he will soon get up close to the wall on the outside there then, and now around the left-hander we will soon go again, and now approaching the next corner on the track. As meantime Castaneras and Alonso still scrapping it out for 5th place. He had to go into the first banking, but again Alonso able to fend him off, and these two still continuing to scrap it out for 5th at the moment in the race. Through the left-hander we go up towards the second banking on the track, as he's still tucked within Alonso's slipstream now then on the track. Round this final banking we will go, heading down the pit straight we will go on the track, and he's still not really close enough at this stage. In towards the first banking we will go, and can Castaneras find a way through in a little bit. It wasn't close enough that time. By round the first banking we go, up towards the next left-hander goes Castaneras and Alonso now then. They're still continuing to scrap it out for 5th place now then into the second banking, as Dixon continues to get away from those two. Round this left-hander we go, coming down towards the pit straight now then on the track, and again it doesn't look like Castaneras is close enough, although saying that he is in the slipstream, but is there enough straight for him to try and potentially find a way through into turn 1? You can see Alonso going defensive there. It's allowed Castaneras to get a little bit closer now then to the back of Fernando Alonso now then, as they get up close to the wall, and Castaneras now has a look down to turn 2. He thought about it but had to back out of it, as Alonso was shutting the door there into that left-hander, in towards the next banked corner on the track now then. Around we go, heading down the pit straight now then on the track, and now approaching the first banking again we will go. So again Alonso defends. Castaneras is unable to find a way through that time. By now then, coming off that banking now, they're heading in towards down towards that left-hander again. Castaneras has a look for that little left-hander, but again Alonso cuts him off and holds on to 5th place for the moment. As meantime it's Takuma Sato who's currently in 6th at the moment in this race, followed by Chavez in 7th, with Pagenaud in 8th position, and then it is Rahal 9th, with Rahal 9th with I'm trying to find out, but that's pretty much most of the pack that we know so far in this race. Kanan's getting close to the back of Hildebrand, but I don't think he would really care because he knows he's not going to be classified anyway. 18 laps to go for race leader JR Hildebrand. 18 to go for him, and he's looking good for Hildebrand. He's looking good to get his first ever IFMC IndyCar win, if he can just keep this up at the moment in his remaining 18 laps now then here at ISM Raceway, as he will now approach the left-hander on the track. So around the left-hander we go, and so now just coming off the turn as he just continues to stretch his advantage out of the front. 17 to go now then for Hildebrand. 17 laps remaining in this race, and specifically we're now on, what lap are we on? We're now on lap 234 of 250 here at the ISM Raceway, and continuing to stretch his advantage in front of James Hinchcliffe, as it looks like Wickens is trying to unlap himself at the expense of James Hinchcliffe. Wickens currently classified in 13th, so at least he'll get some points on the board, but not ideal. It's been quite an up and down race for him, and he'll want to move on to Texas next weekend, the second oval race of the season. And they'll now soon approach the first banking on the track now. Then around the left-hander we go, and they will now get as close to the wall as possible. And Hinchcliffe looking secure now then in second place, as Fittipaldi has been lapped, but he'll still be classified in third either way. Like I said, I can't really do anything about the retired cars still in this race from lapping them. There's not really much I can do about that. They'll finish when they finish, I'm afraid. So yeah, I'm afraid nothing I can do about that, as Kanaan has got by now then on J.R. Hildebrand, who now has let's have a look, he now has 16 laps to go here at ISM Raceway, as he tries to find a way back through on Kanaan either way, but he's not able to do so. Kanaan shutting the door there on him. As meantime, these two continue to scrap it out, but it looks like Alonso still stretching his advantage a little bit out in front between himself and Helio Castroneves now then. In towards the next banking, we will go around the left-hander. And so now just swooping his way around this left-hander we go, heading down the straight. And as you see, Castroneves trying to see if he can get hold of Alonso. He's not even close enough that time by, and we'll have to remain behind him at this stage now then, using all the wall, getting as close to the wall on the outside now. He's got a 4.1 second cushion in front of Sato as Helio Castroneves. Sato currently classified in 6th place at the moment. Half a second still the gap between Alonso and Helio Castroneves at the moment. Round the left-hander we go, heading down the pit straight. And Castroneves now then, let's see if we can get up close. He's in the slipstream, but he's not close enough to get hold of Alonso into the first banking. Alonso doing a good job fending him off in the closing stages of this race now then. And so now through the left-hander we go, as we have while Hildebrand now has 13 laps to go here at Phoenix now then, as these two still continue to scrap it out for 4th place at the moment. Around this left-hander we go, heading down the straight, and heading down the straight now then. Castroneves again not close enough, but he's getting closer to the back of Alonso. Looks like these two may scrap it out until the final laps of the race now then. Well, their final laps will be 249, which is a shame really. There's not really much I can do with the retired cars from race 1. But it's just unfortunate really that my game had to crash like that. Maybe we wouldn't have had this race, who knows. But anyway, up towards the next left-hander we go on the track now then. Where is Hildebrand on the track? Hildebrand is right there. There is J.R. Hildebrand, as he's still leading the race from James Hinchcliffe at this stage now then. As we're getting sun where we are. Sun's trying to peek out where I am at the moment, as here in the UK. As Kanaan has retired. He's got a suspension failure, but he was a retirement anyway, so he's pretty much repeated the script from race 1. So Tony Kanaan pulls off the side of the track in the closing stages of the race, as Bourdais now then just goes around that left-hander. I'm not sure if he'll be able to lap Hildebrand or Hinchcliffe in time, but we will wait and see on that in these remaining few laps. And he is quite a bit away from those guys at the moment. He's not far off, but he's still quite a bit away from getting hold of them at the moment, as Wickens has actually unlapped himself at the expense of James Hinchcliffe at the moment, as there is Tony Kanaan's car being hoisted over, and Hildebrand had to lift off the throttle a little bit while that was all kicking off. As now there is Sebastian Bourdais just going around the left-hander now they're on the track, and that's that really as far as they are concerned. Up towards the first banking we will now go, and that's that really as far as they are concerned, as Dixon trying to get hold of Fittipaldi in front of the moment, but still quite a way away at the moment. And so now coming out of turn 2 and then into the second banking we will now go, as Hinchcliffe's still firing off from Wickens, and he could even be a lap down if he's not careful because of this. As here is JR Hildebrand, as he has 8 laps remaining now then in this race. Sorry, 9 laps remaining now here at ISM Raceway. It'll soon be 8 laps once he crosses the line in a little bit now. Then round the second banking we will go, heading down the pit straight, and 8 laps remaining now then for JR Hildebrand. 8 laps to go for the American, and that's that really as far as they are concerned. Around this left-hander we go, as the sun continues to peek through where I am at the moment, and pretty much blinding me at this stage. So that's that really as far as they are concerned, as they will now approach the next section of corners. Around, cheers James, round the banking goes JR Hildebrand, and he now starts. He now only has 7 laps remaining here at ISM Raceway in order for him to take his first ever IFMC IndyCar win, as Hinchcliffe is close to being lapped now by Bourdais. He will not be classed, of course, because he retired in race 1, and so still no points for the defending champion this season. Of course, when is he going to get a break? That's what I want to know. And the defence of his title not really kicking off the way he would have wanted it to be, that's for sure. Fittipaldi continuing to lose time to Dixon. Dixon could still try and get Fittipaldi in this race now then, as Rossi still tries to unlap himself at the expense of JR Hildebrand, as we now have excuse me, we now have 6 laps to go for JR Hildebrand in order for him to take his first ever IFMC IndyCar win. Let's try and catch up to that battle between Alonso and Castroneves, and unseen by the cameras, Castroneves has taken 4th from Alonso, 5th from Alonso, so up into 5th place goes Helio Castroneves in the EMR. He's passed Fernando Alonso, and that's P5 for the EMR driver, but Alonso still sticking with him, could still try and get the place back in the closing stages of this race now then, as they make their way around the left-hander now then on the track, as Hildebrand now then, just with only a few more meters to go in this race now then, as he just goes around the left-hander on the racetrack now then, coming off the turn, and Hildebrand has 4 laps to go when he crosses the line. He starts lap 247 of 250 here at ISM Raceway around the first banking. We go now then on the track into the left-hander. We go now then, as they will soon approach turn number 3. Sorry, the second banking on the racetrack now then. Around the left-hander we go. As Hildebrand now then starts lap number starts the 3rd to last lap of the race. It doesn't look like he's going to be lapped. Unlike Hinchcliffe, who has now been lapped by Sebastian Bourdais, so he'll finish quite early. Nothing I can do about that, I am afraid. But that's pretty much that then, really, as far as they're concerned. So it looks like Hildebrand might be the only one of the classified guys who will finish on the lead lap. So into the left-hander now then we will go, as now around the left-hander goes JR Hildebrand, as he will now start the penultimate lap of the race here at ISM Raceway, and Hildebrand just doing a good job, taking advantage of the red flag, and really just been in a class of his own in this part of the race. As Alonso has retaken 5th from Castroneves, unseen by the cameras, Alonso has retaken 5th from Castroneves, so these two look like they're going to scrap it out till the final lap, it seems. So we could have a duel between the EMR of Castroneves and the E-Power of Fernando Alonso. Alonso still defending into that first banking there then. But meantime, here is JR Hildebrand, who's just coming around the final corner now then, and JR Hildebrand is about to start his final lap here at ISM Raceway. It has been a very lucky race for JR Hildebrand, I must say. He started in 10th position. Ignore the fact it says race won by Sebastian Bourdais, because he hasn't. He started pretty close to the front of the field, but never really did but really dropped back in the first race and has really taken advantage of the second race and has really just been in a class of his own as he comes around the final banking. Sorry for the drop of frames, but as we come down the pit straight, it is going to be JR Hildebrand who wins at the ISM Raceway here at Avondale, Arizona. Congratulations to him and the Silicon Valley Racing team. He takes his first ever IFMC IndyCar win and Silicon Valley's third of their career as well. A fantastic race from JR Hildebrand, and that is the race officially over there then. And as we saw, JR Hildebrand, the only man finishing on the lead lap there then. So a bit confusing. I should be able to debunk it before the end of the day when I sort out the race results and of course to find out who got the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. But there you have it then, guys. With all of that, here is the result of the race here at ISM Raceway. So ignore Sebastian Bourdais and Ryan Hunter-Reay. It was JR Hildebrand who won the race with James Hinchcliffe second, Pietro Fittipaldi third, Scott Dixon fourth, Fernando Alonso fifth, Helio Castroneves in sixth, and then it was Takuma Sato in 7th with Gabby Chavez 8th, Simon Pagenaud 9th, Graham Rahal in 10th with Felix Rosenquist in 11th. And if we scroll down the rest of the field, it is Alexander Rossi in 12th position, followed by Robert Wickens in 13th position. The retirements being Marco Andretti, Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, and then we'll go through the rest as we scroll up. The others being Sebastian Bourdais, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Max Chilton, who else? Juan Pablo Montoya, Ed Jones, and Tony Kanaan, of course. So there you have it then, guys. That has been it from the race. We'll have a look and see who set the fastest lap over here and see if that matches up. It was Bourdais. He will not count, so it'll be Hildebrand's fastest lap. Whether he set the fastest lap overall, we'll have to wait and see. But until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a very exciting race here at ISM Raceway and a very chaotic one as well. I apologise for the two-part race and I apologise for the crash in the game, and that's why I've got this confusion, but there was not really much I could do about it, I'm afraid, including the lap ones as well. Not really much I could do about that. But until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you then, guys, next weekend at the Texas Motor Speedway in Houston, Texas for the second oval race of the season, and it should be a very exciting race indeed. So until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1, and I'll see you guys. Excuse me. Keep an eye on those two incidences as well later on, because there's two that need to be investigated. But until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1, and I'll see you guys next weekend at a Texas Motor Speedway in Texas. Until then, take care, and I really need to call my voice off.